Honorable members, I take this opportunity to congratulate the Honorable Dr. Amos Kimunya, EGH MP, and wish him well in his new mandate. I also wish to thank sincerely the Honorable Aden Bare Duale, EGH MP, for the diligent and effectively carrying out his work as a leader of Majority Party since 2013, and further wish him well as he continues to discharge his other duties as a Member of Parliament. Honorable members, the House is accordingly guided. I thank you. And at this point in time, I would allow the Honorable Duale to make his remarks. Ordinarily, they would be called his exit remarks.
Yes.
Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, following your communication a few minutes ago, let me make my exit speech as I hand over the instruments of the office of the Leader of Majority Party to the new office holder. Indeed, just like the famous Swahili saying that kilicho kuwa na mwanzo hakikosi kuwa na mwisho. Today marks the end of my service as the first Leader of Majority Party of this House under Article 108 of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, to this end, I wish to thank the President of the Republic of Kenya and my party leader, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, the Deputy President, His Excellency William Ruto, and the entire Jubilee Party, including the members of Parliament, for having given me the opportunity to serve the people of Kenya as the Leader of Majority for the past 7 years now. Mr. Speaker, I also take this opportunity to again thank my colleagues from the Minority Party, those in the 11th Parliament led by my late brother, Honorable Nyenze, Honorable Jacob Midio, and the current leadership led by my very, very good friend, and a man we joined Parliament together in the 10th Parliament, Honorable Bandi, and Honorable Mbui, who is a deputy. I also take this opportunity to again congratulate my able successor, the Honorable Amos Kimunya, as he takes over the office of the Leader of Majority Party in the August House. Honorable Speaker, I know he has a wealth of experience, having served as a Minister for Finance and held various leadership positions in Parliament, and for this, I have no doubt in my mind that he has what it takes. Honorable Kimunya, I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best in your new appointment, and again, congratulations. Honorable Speaker, I have read many comments and views about what Kenyans are saying, that my shoes are too big to fit. This is not, however, for me to judge. All I know is that we wear different shoes, we walk differently, and we feel different in them. As you take up the new mantle, my distinguished colleague, Honorable Kimunya, please wear your shoes. Walk according to your style and how you feel. All that counts is that you serve the people of this great nation well. Honorable Speaker, my experience as a Leader of Majority taught me that as one pushes the agenda of the Majority Party, it is almost inevitable that one will make new friends, new enemies, and opponents, particularly within the party, depending on where their interests are. Interestingly, interests also keep evolving, and hence, one's opponents today might be his or her friends tomorrow, and vice versa. The most important thing is, while attempting to work with everyone, keep your eye off the ball and deliver the prize. Honorable Speaker, on that note, allow me to unconditionally ask for forgiveness and apologies to anyone in this House and outside who I may have offended in the course of executing my duties. I was simply doing my job. And such is the nature of the job, as Honorable Kimunya will come to appreciate soon. Honorable Speaker, during the 7 years of my service, I came to appreciate the professionalism of the technical staff of Parliament. Your office, Mr. Speaker, the office of the Clerk of the National Assembly, previously held by the late Justin Bundi, and now Mr. Michael Sialai, made my work less difficult. For this, I will forever be grateful, indebted to those officers and the very hard-working men and women who contributed to making the work got done effectively, efficiently, and with speed. Asanteni sana. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Speaker, as I exit, I am indeed proud to know that during my helm as the leader of majority, I was able to push through the agenda of the majority party effectively. The results are out there, and they speak for themselves. And hence, I will not belabor to lay out the same. I was not removed for inefficiency or lack of delivery, but it's simply the circle of the career of politicians. I therefore harbor no ill feelings or grudge. Honorable Speaker, lastly but not the least, I wish to appreciate my able staff that were drawn from all over the nation. I had incapable members of staff from Nyeri, Laikipia, Kisii, Nyanza, Garissa, among many other counties. I wish them all the best, and I will forever remain indebted for the support they accorded to me the last 7 years. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, allow me to inform my brother, Honorable Kimunya, that during the transition period, he is also free to consult me on anything. I indeed look forward to being of assistance to him as he settles into his new position. It's not my wish to let him grapple in darkness. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank all the members of Parliament, those who are in the 11th Parliament, who are here, and those who are outside, and those who are in the 12th Parliament, for the invaluable support they gave me during my tenure, and I will always be appreciative of the support they gave me. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the various directorates in Parliament, the Director of Legal Service and her staff, the Director of Budget Office and her staff, the Director of Legislative and Procedure, and the Director General. All these together, I want to thank them for the support they gave to my office. Let me say this prayer that is found in Islam, that there's no storm that God won't carry you through. There's no bridge that God won't help you cross. There's no battle that God won't help you win. Trust God and never give up. Amen. Honorable Speaker, finally, and before I retreat to the backbench to serve the great people of Garissa Township, who elected me 3 times in 3 different political parties. ODM brought me to this house, and I want to thank that party. It is the party that elected me into politics. And in 2013, they elected me under the United Republican Party. And in 2017, they elected me under the Jubilee Party. That alone shows that the people of Garissa Township elect the person, not the party. And they elect the person because of nothing but service delivery. And I'm sure, Mr. Speaker, as senior backbench, when I put my card, you'll give me a fair opportunity. You'll give me a fair opportunity as a ranking member to ask questions, to file statements, to file petitions, to join those who were singing during the VAT of 2018. And to join any other group who will be agitated on behalf of the people of Kenya. Speaker, when that comes, I want every member to count on me, because when you are the leader of majority, there are a number of things, and I'm sure my honorable colleague, the leader of minority himself, there are a number of things that you cannot do. But I think the remaining 2 years will help me get so many friends at the backbench. So if you see me with a statement, not only on behalf of the people of Garissa Township, but on behalf of the people of Kenya, you see me with a question, you see me interrogating the executive, and I am sure I am up to the task to exercise the oversight, the representation, the budget making, and the legislative powers given to me by the Constitution on behalf of the people of Garissa Township. I want to tell the people of Garissa Township that I will remain the first occupant of the leader of majority office, and I'm sure maybe the longest, for now the longest. In 2013, there were many majority leaders, there were many minority leaders, but I happen to be the longest. 7 years is not a short period. And I am sure I wish those who will come after me, including Honorable Kimunya, that today you will find an office that has the necessary infrastructure, an office that has the capacity, an office that has the linkage with all arms of government. I want to thank, Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, finally, the Office of the Attorney General, the State Law Office, both the former AG, Professor Gidi Mugai, who I've worked very closely with, and the current AG, former Court of Appeal Judge Kihara. I want to thank all the cabinet ministers and principal secretaries, and those who are in the executive and in the judiciary, who in the 7 years we worked together to make sure that their issues and the issues of the executive has been brought to the floor of the House. Finally, Mr. Speaker, as I retreat to the backbench, allow me to hand over this file to the incoming leader of majority as his starter pack. It includes, among other things, a brief dealing with the pending business in the House and the majority party business that originated in this House, but is now pending in the Senate. The pending business in the pack includes bills by the majority party, which is from the executive, bills of committees and private members, motions, sessional papers, treaties, among other things. I hope that this symbolic handover becomes part of the practice of the House. Mr. Speaker, this includes my handing over letter, and I want to make it on record and be part of the record of the Hansard that I am handing over bills undergoing mediation, bills passed by the National Assembly and pending in the Senate, bills awaiting second reading, bills awaiting first reading, bills awaiting processing for publication, bills which have been withdrawn, pending treaties, protocols, and agreements, sessional papers, private members' bills, and any other business. If you allow me, Mr. Speaker, as I take my seat as a backbencher, let me hand over this file to Honorable Kimunya and ask him to come and take the seat that I have warmed for the last 7 years, and I wish him all the best.
Well, very well. As you exchange the seats, I, of course, again, you've already been thanked by the speakership for the diligent work that you've done for the last 7 years, but most importantly, for the magnanimity in your handing over. In many cases, people who do this kind of handover would probably even not be available to do such, so it is good. Probably it's because of the fact that you are a battle-hardened politician, just like the gentleman who is also taking over from you. I'm also informed that he's also equally battle-hardened. So thank you again. Thank you once more, Honorable Aden Duale. You did your work and did it well. We wish well to the new majority leader. And I'm trying to get a sign from him. Maybe he would want to probably have an acceptance speech. If he does, that would be fine. If you want to do it later, I can see already you have a handful. You probably would be having quite a lot of work this morning as you assume the new office. So would you want to say something, Honorable Kimunya? Honorable Dr. Kimunya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me at the outset to, first of all, thank the party leader of the Jubilee Coalition, His Excellency President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, for nominating me and the party members for endorsing me to take over this challenging office. I know it's challenging because in the 10th Parliament, I had the responsibility as Deputy Leader of Government Business, but technically became the de facto Leader of Government Business for the last 3 years of the 10th Parliament. So I know the drill and what it means, and that it really takes you being seated here and takes away from family, takes you away from constituents, takes away from basically the other things you want to do. And it's against that background that I want to recognize the sacrifice and effort that my predecessor, the Honorable Aden Duale, has put in this office for the last 7 years. I've been here in the 12th Parliament since 2017, and I've been watching him. We've worked together. Fortunately, we are good friends. We've worked together through the House Business Committee, and even here in Parliament. And I've seen the amount of time he's actually put in being in this House, being in the committees, constantly on the phone, consulting, being the linkage with the ministries, sorting out the issues between the committees and the ministries. So I've been learning from him without necessarily thinking that I'll eventually take over from him. So I want to really thank for the lessons given so far, and you have promised, obviously, to be there for me, because there's certainly, obviously, some things that you gain. 7 years experience is not anything. You cannot do something for 7 years and not learn some intricate ways of getting things done. So I really want to have on record my personal appreciation, and His Excellency President also did express the party appreciation, and would like to have it on the Hansard, the appreciation of the Jubilee Coalition for the work that the Honorable Duale has put over the last 7 years. And I know the people of Garissa Town constituency may not have appreciated what you do in the House, because it's like, how does it translate to issues on the ground? Now, perhaps within the next 2 or so years, it will give you also an opportunity to get back to them and they see on the ground and get to understand what you've been doing for the last 7 years. I did 10 years, Mr. Speaker, if you recall, in cabinet. The people of Kibipiri at some point even decided, now what's this man doing? He's out there in the ministry. We want an MP on the ground. And they made a change in 2013. But I took it very positively, and I said, it's a nice break for me to also reconsider what I need to do for my personal development. And I went back to school. And, I think that was the best investment I made of that period when I was away. So at times, nature provides you with an opportunity to redefine yourself. And I want to ask my friend and the dweller to look at it from that perspective. There are some crucibles, or so-called crucibles in leadership, that comes and it changes your life, and you start thinking, yes, I've been doing this, but is there something else I probably should be doing? And gives you time to start preparing. So I would like to really ask that we continue working together. We bring the unification of this country together, the unity of our party, working together with our colleagues from the minority party for the better good of the Kenyan people, and to at least also shape up this 12th parliament so that we can say that the investment over the next 7 years, plus what we're going to invest now, will make the 13th parliament look at the 12th parliament as the one that really set the standard for the future. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to continue saying a lot. I could get emotional, but it's a good thing to do, and I'm also happy that we've actually done it through this formal process, this being the first handover of the majority party, and I hope that we will have set the pace for what will happen in the future. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and once again, thank you, Honorable Duale, for what you've done and the continued friendship we're going to enjoy as we work together for the Kenyan people.
Okay, so having said that, I want to give only a member or maximum two, and at maximum it will be two, very briefly. Maybe the leader of minority party to advise you on the kind of shoe type you need to wear. And I realize that actually, between you and the Honorable Duale, you are almost the same in terms of the number of years you've served in this parliament. The only advantage on your part is also you served the other side of parliament, outside, when Kipipiri asked you to take a brief break. We probably, Honorable Duale has not tested, so you probably are also tested in the fact that you can survive the other terrain outside. Now, so I'll give only the minority leader and probably the minority whip, but if it is going to be brief. Let me start with the minority whip so that we end with you, Honorable Badi. No, we will definitely not open. I will probably give an extra few members if we can agree that will be brief, very brief. And by the way, the members who are saying yes are probably not going to be lucky enough to have the opportunity. So I will please be very brief, Honorable Minority Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, from the onset, I want to congratulate the new majority leader for assuming the new role as the new majority leader of this House, Mr. Speaker. And at the same time, also thank the former majority leader, Honorable Aden Duale, for the good job he has done in this House, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was in the 11th Parliament when Honorable Majority Leader was the majority leader then, and that Parliament was more difficult than this one, Mr. Speaker. This one was under this framework of the handshake, the temperatures a bit went down. But in the last Parliament, the majority leader really did his job, Mr. Speaker. As a court coalition by then, we had to plan very well to defeat Duale in this House, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to tell my brother Duale that it is this, as former President Moi said, he in courts in Kiswahili, hizi watu cheo ni za wananchi, sisi ni wadhamini wao. You serve when you have been given an opportunity, you serve and you leave when the opportunity ends. But also I want to tell the new majority leader that we will work with you. I know you have all the experience. I know you have been a leader of the government business in the 10th Parliament, and I know you're equal to the task. We will work together as a parliament, and we see how we can advance, as you said, the agenda of the people of Kenya. I want to tell them politically that this work of politics is very difficult, majority leader. And when the going gets tough, don't die. Remain strong. Don't say, I would rather die than resign. Please, don't die. Just stay alive. We shall support you. Yeah, because dying is the worst thing that can happen. And to the former majority leader, politically, my brother, when you see us following Baba like cows, we are fearing consequences like the one you are facing now. So politics is like that, Mukova. It is today, if you go against the wishes of the people who own parties, the people who lead this country, the consequence is a good experience for me. I will be more loyal than I was now. I will sing Baba throughout. Thank you so much. Asante sana.
Minority leader. Then I'll give a few members, just a few members, but please take a minute each.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, let me start by, on behalf of the minority side, I know my whip has spoken, also congratulate Amos Kimunya, the Honorable MP for Kipipiri, who is the incoming majority leader. I have no doubt in my mind that Amos Kimunya will not disappoint in this position, because first, he has experience that has been talked about. This is serving his third term in Parliament. But more importantly, he has also served in two positions that are very critical for this position that is now going to hold. One, that he was deputy leader of government business in the 10th Parliament, I remember, and which, of course, put him in a position where he was like serving as the leader of government business, because the vice president was the leader of government business. Mr. Speaker, he has also been a member of the House Business Committee in this 12th Parliament, and myself, Honorable Duale, and we have served in that committee. And I think he's one of those MPs who attend religiously the House Business Committee without fail. But Mr. Speaker, having said that, I also want to add that he's an accountant like myself, and we know ourselves as accountants that we are very thorough people, and all round. If you want an all-round person, you get it in an accountant. We are even lawyers, actually. But, Mr. Speaker, allow me to say the following about my good friend, Honorable Duale, who is the outgoing leader of majority party. From 2011, we came with the Honorable Duale to Parliament the same day. We were sworn in the same day in the same party, and we were planning together, actually, even including electing Marende as the Speaker. But from 2011, Mr. Speaker, we have not been in the same political side, on the same political side with Duale. He actually chose to support the president and the deputy president, and as everybody knows, I have stuck and I continue to stick with the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And so we were in different camps. But one thing is clear, that at personal level, we have been very good friends with Duale from 2011 to date, and possibly in the future. I don't see us breaking up our personal friendship. And so I know Duale not just as a leader of the majority leader, but as my personal friend. Sometimes people couldn't understand how come we relate so well at personal level, but when it comes to work, we disagree properly. But that was the nature of work, Mr. Speaker. But in terms of delivery, I don't think it is in doubt. Honorable Duale, I think you've done your bits, and you've done it well. I don't think anyone would have done better than you, especially as the first leader of a majority in this country, at a time when it was not easy. As I conclude, Mr. Speaker, Duale weathered a lot of storms as a majority leader. And that time in the 11th Parliament, sometimes it was really annoying us. Remember the Security Laws Amendment Bill, Mr. Speaker. We fought here physically. I didn't fight with him physically, but we fought with words. I only didn't fight him physically because he was my friend, personal level. But if he was not my friend that day, I think I would have looked for a way of hitting him and probably would have also retaliated. But what I'm saying in a nutshell is that he had the zeal, he had the determination, he had the willingness to deliver for his party. And I think, Honorable Duale, you've been lucky. Serving 7 years in a volatile political environment like ours is not easy. Lastly, there's one thing I want to say about him, Mr. Speaker. That is a very honest person. If something is not possible, he tells you, and you can disagree. I remember in the 11th Parliament, I wanted to be chairman of PAC, and Jubilee side were not comfortable with me. I asked him why, because I had been whispered to. Today I will tell you who told me. It was Nelson Gaishuhe, who whispered to me that you didn't want me to be PAC chair. And I confronted him as my friend. And he told me, Mbadi, if you want to be chair of PAC, talk to William. That was the deputy president. And I told him I don't even have his number. How do I talk to him? And he gave me his number, Mr. Speaker. And I called the deputy president. He didn't pick. But when I sent him a text, I think he didn't know it was me. He called me immediately, 3 minutes after I'd sent the text, and asked me, Mbadi, where are you? I said, I'm here in Parliament. And we talked. I told him I want to be PAC chair, and I'm told you, if I don't talk to you, I'll not be PAC chair. Mr. Speaker, the rest is history, but we spoke. I'm happy that Duale told me that Jubilee is very uncomfortable with me being PAC chair. And of course, I didn't become PAC chair. And that is politics. Who would want someone who is not going to further their political agenda in a particular seat? So, Honorable Duale, I wish you well. I wish you well in your service for the people of Garissa Town constituency. And at personal level, we'll still remain friends. As to your political leaning, I don't know where you're going to stand, because a lot of changes and dynamics are coming along the way. Going to 2022, I can already see it. And there's going to be political groupings. There's going to be a tsunami. I don't know who it is going to sweep. Whether it's going to sweep you or me, I don't know. Maybe we might find ourselves in the same group, but I will tell you, if that group does not have Raila Odinga, I will not be in that group. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I wish everyone well.
Now, honorable members, you are taking too long, and therefore it's becoming difficult for me to give many members. So I'm going to give Honorable Shamala for purposes of gender.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise and I thank Honorable Duale for his excellent leadership. I personally interacted with Honorable Duale last year during the ICPD conference in Nairobi. He came across as a man who is steadfast, a man with values that are grounded in his deep religious beliefs. Our ideals, our conservative values, converged, and we traveled to Arizona in early January, where he was invited by conservative, Republican-leaning Americans to a conference to discuss the values that we both share. And for this, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Honorable Duale. Dr. Amos Kimunya, I congratulate you. And as Honorable Duale has said, everyone wears their shoes differently. Do it your way, but make sure you make it the best.
Okay. Now, I'll give, let me go to the list again. And Honorable Atandi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I'll just go by this list, honorable members, because there are already too many requests anyway.
For giving me this opportunity, and I want to start by congratulating Honorable Kimunya for the appointment. And we would like to say that Honorable Kimunya is obviously very experienced, and I'm sure he's going to use his experience to further the interests of the people of Kenya.
Just a minute, Honorable Atandi, as you continue. I want to ask the Sergeant at Arms to release members to come and sit on these chairs. Number 327, 270, 238, 170, 272, 162, 165, 258, 224, 315, 189, 192, 130, 208, 311, 204, 184, 229, and 320. So you can usher members quickly so that members like Honorable Dr. Pukose doesn't need to put his hands up from where he is. So proceed, Honorable Atandi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, I also would like to congratulate Honorable Duale for the good job he's done for this Parliament. I think if there is any leader who has been consistent on the independence of National Assembly, I think Duale has done a very good job. The only thing that I think all of us agree is that Duale is being removed, not because of underperformance, but I think it's because of the politics. He did not read the politics of the future very fast. When we were saying that the country needs to come together, I think he stayed behind. But, Honorable Speaker, we need to thank Honorable Duale for the fight that he has put, especially on the welfare of members of Parliament. And if there's anyone who believes in the members of Parliament in this House, it's Honorable Duale. And there's a big difference between Honorable Duale on the microphone and Honorable Duale as a person. I think I related very well with Honorable Duale on matters of this House personally, and he does not care whether you belong to which political party. I think such a leader is very rare to come by. And yesterday when Honorable Kimunya was appointed, I was online and I saw the kind of comments that came across. And I want to urge him to go online and read.
Your minute is over now.
Chair, go and read what the people are saying about him. And that is going to help him to execute the functions of this office competently. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sankok, but 1 minute. 1 minute. There is a reason why I've increased the number of members speaking.
Thank you.
But 1 minute. In fact, I want them time now. 1 minute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, let me start by congratulating Honorable Dr. Amos Kimunya, but at the same time wishing very well His Excellency Adan Duale, who have been our political father, especially some of us who are new-timers. I think today will remain to be orphans. The only solace we have is that Honorable Duale was not released because of incompetence, but because of political intrigue. And what I have learned today is that loyalty to the party chair and the party leader is very important. Honorable Speaker, if today you take my blood sample, you will not get COVID-19. You will get red blood cells being Uhuru, white blood cells being Kenyatta. And Honorable Speaker, platelets probably, and minerals being Tujo, Ruto, and others. Honorable Speaker, but the blood also normally have some what we call, Dr. Pukose will tell you that there is normal flora, bacteria that are normally in.
Your time is over. Honorable Mbui.
Thank you, Speaker. My congratulations to the new leader of majority. And this man Duale, Mr. Speaker, many people don't know. I went to school with him in Moi Forces Academy. Actually, we were classmates for 2 years, Form 5 and Form 6. And Mr. Speaker, the passion that people see with Duale today hasn't started when he became a member of Parliament. I remember even when we were in school, Mr. Speaker, we had these debating clubs, and one person tried to make a joke one day and said something about the malnourished member for Northeastern. Mr. Speaker, there was almost hell to pay because Aden Duale debated, throughout that period. And Mr. Speaker, I want to say that when we met in Moi Forces, he's one of those very humorous people because he says that he came to Moi Forces. I went to Moi Forces because my grandfather was Chief of General Staff. He came there to look for Mohammed's daughter. He came out of there with a wife. I came out of there. So, Mr. Speaker, I think this is one great man, and he's done a great job for this nation. And we congratulate you for the work you've done, Aden Duale, and we respect you for it.
I'm looking for that member at the very end. Yes, that's yourself. No, at the very end. Okay, proceed.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for giving this opportunity. First and foremost, I want to congratulate the incoming majority leader, Honorable Amos Kimunya, for his appointment yesterday. Equally, I want to thank Honorable Adan Duale for having done exemplary work to this House I'm a first timer, but certainly I've been following since his election and selection as majority leader in 2013. Honorable Duale, you did a good job. You've done us proud in this house and outside. And even the party leader said that you are not being removed because of incompetence, but rather other dynamics. So as you serve with us in the backbench, keep your head high, and we wish you all the best. For Honorable Amos Kimunya, we welcome you to the new position. I know you also equal to the task, but I'm sure the shoes around Duale might be too large for you. But
okay, Honorable Wanyonyi. Honorable Wanyonyi, I had given you the mic. What happened? No, I'm talking about Honorable Team Wanyonyi, member for Westlands.
Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I also want to congratulate Honorable Amos Kimunya for the new position that he has taken, and also to thank Honorable Duale for the exemplary work that he has done as the leader of majority since we joined the parliament in the last parliament, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, one may easily dismiss this as a Jubilee affair and not affecting the opposition, but Mr. Speaker, this affects this House, its parliament, as members of parliament. And Mr. Speaker, it will not go without saying that I think whatever is happening in the political arena, Mr. Speaker, I think the institution of parliament is seriously being affected because the executive, the invasion of parliament by the executive.
What happened? I gave you a minute. So I'm only giving you 10 seconds to wind up what you had developed, Honorable, because that's the time which we took looking for you. Honorable Wanyonyi, you have something to... Yes, proceed. Proceed for some 10 seconds. And members, the reason why I'm giving you an opportunity also...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was saying that there's the invasion of parliament by the executive is weakening the institution of parliament. And I believe that as parliament is an independent arm of government, that we need to assert ourselves as much as the political parties are also expressing themselves. But we must, as a house, speak with one voice, because our division is what is driving the executive to drive us, and has weakened the parliament. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Honorable Bukose, then I'll come this way. I'll still give a few members, because there is also some consultation going on the finance bill. So I'll give you members, but 1 minute strictly.
Relax.
Bukose, proceed. 1 minute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank Honorable Duale for the good work he did. He has been removed not because he's not performed well. He's been removed in what we call Asande Apunda Nimateke. Honorable Speaker, has Honorable Duale and the rest of us who have been de-whipped, it's not because of underperformance. It's because people thought that these are leaning towards the Deputy President.
What's your point of order, Deputy Minority Leader?
Speaker, I've heard my good friend, the Honorable Robert Bukose, say that he's mixed languages, and he said something about Asante Apunda. Isn't that derogatory, Mr. Speaker, considering he's talking about his own party leader?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Just to make it easy, Honorable Bukose, please let us not go to the sides. Let's concentrate on the opportunity I've given you and, of course, do what is necessary and right. Proceed,
thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we campaigned for Jubilee in the last elections, and we delivered. And what we expected is not people who are coming from outside to come and kick us out of Jubilee, but we shall meet with the Wananchi in the field so that the people will decide. Honorable Speaker, thank you, Honorable Duale, for the good work, and welcome to the side that supports the Deputy President, William Ruto, and we are there.
Okay, let's, members, I'm finding it difficult because I am picking you from the intervention slots. I think very soon we should start to be. Now, that member there, it was not you, but proceed. It was the member behind you. That must have been Ogutu. Or who? Proceed anyway. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. May I take this opportunity to the work he has done and the way he has mentored us as first termers in the parliament, because actually he has guided us the way it is supposed, and we congratulate him because in despite of our failures, he has led us as it was. He has really proved himself a great man who has a lot of future ahead of him, and he has shown that in despite of the pressure upon his shoulders, he can deliver, and he has really delivered on behalf of the Jubilee government. We wish him well, and the future is bright for Honorable Duale. Okay. To Honorable Kimunya, we wish him the best. He has been there before, and we expect much from him. We expect to see what he used to deliver during the time of President Kibaki. At this time, to make
Jimmy Nuru Angwenyi. That is, members, you know, it's difficult to balance. So please, it's not that we'll give everybody. Honorable Jimmy Angwenyi, and then I'll come this direction. By the way, honorable members, I'm sure you might be aware that Honorable Jimmy Angwenyi is the deputy majority leader. So he has worked with Honorable Duale, and of course he will be working with Honorable Kimunya. Honorable Jimmy, you have the floor. There is a problem with your mic, Honorable Jimmy. Would you want to come to the... So Jimmy, Honorable Jimmy Angwenyi, please stay there. Let me give another member in the meantime as I locate your seat. And that will be Honorable Kavinga. Yes. Members, you will get some of you will get the opportunity, others may not.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I take this opportunity to welcome and congratulate the incoming Leader of Majority, Honorable Kimunya. I've interacted with him to an extent of him being my mentor in parliamentary work, Mr. Speaker, and for that reason I want to congratulate him and welcome him to this challenging position. Mr. Speaker, let me also congratulate Honorable Duare for the good work that he has done in the past 3 years that I've been in this parliament, Mr. Speaker. As a newcomer, I interacted with him a lot, and the people of Mwea will forever be grateful for the way we worked with him in the repeal of Cap 347 that has been a problem to the people of Mwea in coming up with a new irrigation bill. We shall forever remember him for that, Mr. Speaker, and I will continue to consult him.
I am finding it very difficult to give you. There's a problem with where you are sitting, so you please come to the dispatch.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me a chance to welcome my new boss, Honorable Kimunya, and also thank the outgoing, my former boss, Honorable Duare. Duare has worked with me very closely and very well the last 3 years that I've been his deputy. He has worked very well on the issues of government on this floor and even outside this floor. He has served the country very well, and we thank him. He has handed over to Kimunya. Maybe the next time, Kimunya will hand over to him, maybe a ministerial position as Minister for Finance, where Kimunya was. Maybe you'll get that job also in the future, you never know. And we'll assume that Kimunya was handed over to him if he gets that job. He has worked very well, and I'm sure He will continue working for this country in his new position as a member of parliament. Without being a majority leader, he still serve this country the way he has been serving it for the last 8 years.
Okay, Jimmy.
And I welcome Mr. Honorable Kimunya to work with us all, work with all members of parliament the way Duale used to work, so that we can achieve that which our people are sent here to achieve. Thank you.
Honorable Wamalwa, but 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the Bible, in the book of Ecclesiastes, the Bible says there's time for everything. There's time to enter and there's time to exit. Mr. Speaker, as Honorable Duale is exiting, he leaves behind a strong legacy of hard work, Mr. Speaker. In the last parliament, Mr. Speaker, the temperatures were very high because there was no handshake. I remember we were on this side and it was the other side. And all through he scored, Mr. Speaker. He did good work. He is going not because of incompetence, Mr. Speaker, but because of politics. But I want to tell you, Mr. Duale, as you move forward, the big door is going to be opened. The rejected stone became the cornerstone. And I want to tell you in 2022, you're going to play a critical role. I left, Mr. Speaker, as you can see, I've put on some weight. And whoever is coming in, we are telling him, congratulations, but please, don't die and don't resign. We'll be here to support him. We'll support His Excellency and move forward to unite this country. I thank you.
Honorable Kanini Kega.
Thank you, Speaker. And I want to congratulate the incoming Majority Leader, Dr. Amos Mohega Kimunya, whom I have known for a long time. We did masters together. I know, of course, the responsibility comes with a lot of challenges, and I know he is up to the task. To the first Majority Leader, who, unknown to many, has been my good friend, and maybe I was seen to be the face that was behind the collection of signatures. And I just want to say that it was not personal. I have no vendetta against Adan Duale. I only appeared to be the face. There were over 120-something members who would appear their signatures. But I want to tell Adan Duale that when the history will be written about Parliament, and especially the 11th Parliament, of course he will have a huge chapter about himself. He should know that very well, that if one door closes, another one opens. And he should move with his head high.
Honorable Kato, Metito. You have the mic, Honorable Kato.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first I congratulate Honorable Kimunya, the incoming Majority Leader. I have served with him in cabinet for those 10 years. When he was the Deputy Leader of Government Business, I was the Interior Minister. So I know he's up to the task. Mr. Speaker, we cannot say even in the whole week what Honorable Duale has done in the last 7 years. I was his Majority Chief Whip. And I can say, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Duale was in this house many, many times more than the time he spent in Garissa Town constituency, Mr. Speaker. And there is no single day that one will read about Parliament without reading about Honorable Adan Duale, Mr. Speaker. He stood very firm. He pushed the government business even when it was very difficult time. We wish you all the best, my good friend. God bless you. God bless the people of...
The member at the very end with the white cap. Members, you can see I'm referring you in that manner because I really wish we could have placed our names on the face mask.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand to congratulate the new incoming leader of Majority and wish him the best in his endeavor. And on the other hand, I sincerely say that Duale, I've known him for a long, long time before even he became an MP, and he has always been a performer, even outside Parliament. Most people have talked about his performance in Parliament, but I've known him outside Parliament before he became an MP, and he has always been a performer. And maybe this is a blessing in disguise, Honorable Duale. Take it as a blessing in disguise. Some of us who are newcomers and who wanted a lot of your time for coaching and mentoring and putting our toes properly.
Time is over. That particular member who's putting his hand up there, and I'm not saying I'll use that one, but you come to the dispatch box. I cannot. Please, come to the dispatch box. Honorable members, unfortunately, I cannot be able to, even if, well, it's only now when he puts out his face mask, the chair of PAC, that's when I could see. But I can't notice you unless you put your card here. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Kimunya, congratulations to your appointment. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Duale, the immediate former majority leader, has been the patriarch of the members of parliament from Northern region and the Muslim community. Last night, I was privileged, since yesterday, I want to say, I was privileged to have been called by over 27 imams supporting that Honorable Duale has been an icon in this parliament and has been an icon in this country. Yes. He has delivered, and I'm sure he will deliver for the people of Garissa, not only for the people of Garissa, I mean to say, but for the people that have really been looking up to him. Okay. He has been a patriarch, and we really want to appreciate the fact that that has been.
Your minute is over. So we have Honorable Gutu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to say two words to my good colleagues, the outgoing leader of majority, Mr. Duale. I think I admired your ability to lobby me whenever there was need to see the government bill passed. I want to congratulate you. To Honorable Kimunya, I have seen so far, since yesterday, a number of people raising stones against your history. Please.
Honorable, I would have given the member for the Rakanizi, but I will give Honorable, but you know you are becoming a pastoralist in the chamber. So how do I give you an opportunity when you are consulting very far from where you are? Okay, proceed. The member for the Rakanizi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to congratulate Amos Kimunya for the appointment of the majority leader. And I would like, Mr. Speaker, to congratulate Honorable Duale. He has done a good job. He has performed. He has been a mentor to many of us. We want to wish him well. We want to wish him the best in whatever he is going to do. We have learned a lot from him, and I'm sure we are going to learn more from Honorable Kimunya. Thank you.
Very well. Chair, Honorable Wandai. And then I'll give probably the last.
Mr. Speaker, let me also take the opportunity to congratulate the incoming leader of majority, Honorable Kimunya, and also appreciate the good work that Honorable Duale did in this parliament. The Speaker, in the 11th parliament, you will recall that the relationship between minority and majority side was totally adversarial. And in fact, if Honorable Duale can be faulted for anything, but not loyalty to his party, at least in that parliament. In the third parliament, I'm not sure what happened. But Mr. Speaker, it must go on record that had it not been for Honorable Duale, perhaps the minority side then would have overrun the majority side. But he stood very firm, and we fought against him fervently. But he defeated us, Mr. Speaker, in that parliament. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that for us to continue as a parliament,
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, for starters, I have been in a whipping office for the last 12 years, and 8 of which I worked under Honorable Duale. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for the time you have gotten me and the support. I want to also quickly request you that this Jubilee government belongs to us. It is us who elected the president in the seat today. Please, as you go out, recover, and I know you can recover quickly because even in the 10th parliament, you
The 1 minute is over, Honorable Ashiali. Maybe I'll give you just 10 seconds. I don't know why I should, but you had your minute. You had your minute. And the other members also want to speak to this. You can see the interest. Honorable Ashiali, I don't even know how to pick you now back again.
Thank you, Speaker. I just wanted to mention as I finish that I know Duale very well. He recovered very fast when he was acting as an assistant minister, and I know even now he's going to recover quickly. Me, I've recovered already, and I'm also seeing some benefits that you don't have to come the earliest in chambers. You can also do your own other businesses as you look forward to things that affect your constituency and the nation at large. Therefore, I just want to thank you and welcome you again. And if you want some tea, I will buy for you so that I can advise you on how to behave when you are not in the House leadership.
Member for Madare.
I want to take this opportunity to thank the majority leader. Those of us who was on the other side, we were not very, very happy to have lost, especially in the last parliament, security law, in this particular parliament, the VAT. I think in Kiswahili they usually say, mgala muwe lakini haki yake mpe. Honorable Duale, Honorable Kimunya, I hope that you will be able to balance in this session that you have in the next 2 years, a balance between government bills and private member bills so that the true meaning of Article 95 can be extended to every member in this House. I thank you and take over.
Honorable Melly.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to also say that I want to congratulate Honorable Duale for the work that he did all that time for almost 7 years when I was a vice chair and up to now when I'm the chair. Honorable Speaker, I also want to congratulate Honorable Amos Kimunya, who has been my vice chair in the Education Committee. I know him very well. He's a very diligent man, very committed and very knowledgeable, especially on issues parliamentary. I know he has an experience as a member of parliament spanning almost 15 years, and I know he's bringing this experience to this House and to lead and bring the nation to be one.
Okay.
Honorable Duale, I want to say that the work that you mentored us as leaders, I think we owe a lot to you, and may God bless you.
Thank you. And the next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Now, what is your point of order, Honorable Mrugara?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I raise on a point of order because of the commotion that we had at the door this morning, just before we were allowed in. Mr. Speaker, the practice of allocating seats, I think, is not working. While we observe and agree that the leadership must have their seats reserved, it is my opinion and it's my suggestion to the House leadership that for the rest of the seats, let's be allowed when we come in early, occupy them, and then we transact.
I hear you, Honorable Mrugara, and in all honesty, that is a very valid suggestion. Now, the only thing that I would want to do is, now that we have Honorable Kimunya as the new majority leader and Honorable Mbadi as a minority leader, I think between them, they should take it to the House Business Committee and make the requisite decisions and bring it to us. Because the truth of the matter is that 30 minutes after the House takes off, quite a number of members who actually signed in are not there and available to occupy their seats. And therefore, we keep putting a lot of members by the door and the alley to come in and occupy those seats. I think it's a valid one. Honorable Minority Leader, you want to say something to that?
Speaker,
Mr. Speaker, I think, thank you for making that comment, but I think what needs to be done is just implementation. The last House Business Committee we were in, we agreed, Mr. Speaker, that there were people who were talking about 30 minutes, and I think finally we settled on 15 minutes. Mr. Speaker, if a member has not appeared in the House and had booked a seat, these seats don't belong to individual members. It's only that you booked, and if you booked and you are not there, let the members who are present come in and occupy those seats. Actually, we need members in this House. So, Mr. Speaker, I think it's the chair now to give instructions to the sergeant at arms that 15 minutes after the start of the sitting.
Leader of Minority, what Honorable Murungara is, and this is something I think you need to, between yourself and the Honorable Kimunya, can, sit and really work it out easily, is that there are members who come, a little late, and again the issue of 15 minutes. Yes. So
Mr. Speaker,
can you finish?
It is easier said first come, first serve, but it would also look ridiculous for MPs to start running here. And we are not children, Mr. Speaker. Let us have some order and have some few minutes. This idea of first come, you will start pushing each other on the door. I don't think I would be party to such a building.
Honorable, I think, Honorable Minority Leader, what you have done is to, we could have a thought into it. The modalities can be worked on if, between the two of you agree on a certain formula, it can be worked on. So can we give it until, let's give it some thought and see how we can be able to help members. Because the truth of the matter, sitting where I am, sometimes you see members unavailable to take their seats. We can reserve the seats for the leadership, but then the rest can be worked on a certain formula that is comfortable for everybody else. Honorable Nyasuna, what is it?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as the leaders consider this matter, and even as we speak about the first come, first serve, one thing I want to appreciate, Mr. Speaker, is previously it has been that when you register, so long as you register first, you will come even if you come to the morning session, the afternoon session. But I saw a change in that if somebody sits in the morning session, they might not sit in the afternoon session. But, Mr. Speaker, as they think about the first come, first served, let's think about those planes in West Africa where the seats are not reserved and how people run into the plane. If you go to Lagos or somewhere where the seats have no numbers, people run into the plane, people can break their legs. So, Mr. Speaker, we must find a formula that keeps the dignity of members of parliament, because some of us, if you start running on those slippery floors because you want to make it here first come, first served, it might be a problem. So, Mr. Speaker, as they think about it, let us also consider the issue of the dignity of members.
Those are things that you will think about when you are making the decision. Obviously, it will be a question of running. There will be a few members from a certain region who will always be having the easier option. We should also be thinking about the footballers. So that is something that will be decided. And of course, again, let us also look at the persons with different abilities in the House. There are many things that we should consider, but I think you can take off. So let's go to the next order. By the way, honorable members, we are running late. So the next order, let's see.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today. Tuesday, June the 23rd of 2020, morning sitting. Number one, the explanatory memorandum on bilateral air service agreement, BASA, between Kenya and the United States of America. Number two, report on achievements and progress in the financial year 2019-2020 from the Ministry of Lands and Fiscal Planning. Number three, legal notice number 61 of 2020 relating to the Public Finance Management Strategic Food Reserve Trust Fund revocation regulations of 2020 and the explanatory memorandum. And number four, the draft land transaction registration, in bracket, electronic transactions, regulations 2020, with the following accompanying annexures for pre-publication scrutiny. A, the Land Amendment Regulations 2020. B, Land Extension and Renewals of Leases Amendment Rules 2020. C, Land Allocation of Public Land Amendment Regulations 2020. D, Land Registration Electronic Transactions Regulations 2020. E, Survey Electronic Cadastre Regulations of 2020. F, Fiscal and Land Use Planning Electronic Development Control and Enforcement System Regulations of 2020. G, Duty Valuations Regulations of 2020. H, Stamp Publication Notice. I, Public Stakeholder Consultation, Annex 3A. J, Public Stakeholder Consultation, Annex 3B. K, Consultation with National Commission, Annex 4. Consultation with Council of Governors, Annex 5. Multi-Stakeholder Joint Task Force, Annex 6. And N, Regulatory Impact Assessment Report. Number 5, the annual report and financial statements for the financial year 2018-2019 from the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And then we go to the next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statement.
Honorable members, since we are running short of time, the statement request by Honorable Olago Oluoch will be responded to in the afternoon. So we go to questions. And we'll start off with the member for Trans Nzoia. Well, Honorable, I've made a ruling, Honorable Kisang. We are actually running short of time because we have the finance bill. Kindly allow us to have that responded to in the afternoon. Proceed. Honorable Nangabo. Oh yes, you are there, Honorable Nangabo. Now I'm trying to see how to find you. Yes, you have it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask question number 007/2020 to the Cabinet Secretary of Health. A, what measures has the ministry put in place to ensure that families residing in the formal settlements and the rural areas adversely affected during the COVID-19 pandemic period due to either accessibility or long distance to the healthcare facility access healthcare? What measures has the ministry put in place to address the equal distribution of resources realized from the COVID-19 emergency response funds to the citizens residing in the formal settlement and rural areas? C, what steps has the ministry taken to guarantee the health and safety of persons traveling between the cities and the rural areas, the public transport during COVID-19 pandemic period to curb the community infection? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That one will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Health, and is a question by private notice, so it's supposed to be answered within the stipulated time. The Chair, Health, is she in? Honorable, the Majority Leader will take it on her behalf and make sure that it's answered in good time. Now, we go to the ordinary questions. Member for Nakuru Town East. I can't see him. Member for Gatundu North. Member for Gatundu North.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to ask question number 70 of 2020. What is the status of the construction of the Gatukoyo-Kairi Matara Road in Gatundu North constituency? Could the Cabinet Secretary give the names of the farms or farm or individuals awarded the contract for the construction of the road, the amount of money paid to date, and how much is outstanding, considering that only 1/3 of the 30 kilometers has been constructed, yet the project is behind schedule as it was expected to be completed in June 2019. Could the Cabinet Secretary confirm that the project is being implemented as per the required standards, considering that the 10 kilometers stretch constructed so far is now in a deplorable state? D, what measures is the ministry putting in place to ensure that the construction of the said road is completed? And lastly, Honorable Speaker, could the Cabinet Secretary consider cancelling the contracts, blacklisting the contractor or contractors, and awarding the contract afresh to contractors who will adhere to the required construction standards and timelines?
Very well. That will be replied to before Departmental Committee on Transport and Public Works and Housing. And I saw the chairman a few minutes ago. I think he could have stepped out. I wanted to confirm the timelines. We'll give him 2 weeks. Proceed, Honorable Member for Kabete, Honorable Amashukuru.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is question number 071, year 2020, directed to Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government. A, are there plans to provide communication allowance to Nyumba Kumi officials and administrators, considering that they are currently forced to use their own resources to transmit crucial information to relevant authorities regarding their communities? B, given the risky nature of the Nyumba Kumi strategy of anchoring community policing at various levels in the community, what measures are there in place to safeguard the security of these officials and administrators, including providing other necessary incentives? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, that one will be answered to before replied to before the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security. Is the chair in? Okay, let's go to the member for Tharaka, Honorable Murugara.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask question number 072 of 2020, directed to the Cabinet Secretary, Education. A, could the Cabinet Secretary explain why 5 deputy principals of Teacher Service Commission, whose numbers are 41 45 17, 46 25 38, 46 30 28, 49 29 80, and 39 81 38 in Job Group L, duly appointed and deployed by the TSC, and who were awaiting to be put under the 2017 collective bargaining agreement for upgrading by the Commission, have had their positions withdrawn and assigned to other officers. Number B, what steps is the ministry taking to ensure that the Raka constituency is categorized and affirmed as an arid and semi-arid land asile area for the above 5 deputy principals to qualify for the upgrade? And number C, when will the said teachers be upgraded to the positions of deputy principals? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, that would be replied before Departmental Committee on Education and Research. What time do you require, Honorable Melly? And by the way, I see now the Honorable Chair, Transport. I'm sure you are aware that there was a question by the member for Gatundu North. Would be happy if you were to respond to it in 2 weeks, unless you need more time. That's fine. Then Honorable Melly?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, Speaker. That's perfect. So we go to the last question by Honorable Mwandime.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Raising question 79 of 2020 to the Cabinet Secretary for Transport, Infrastructure, Housing, Urban Development and Public Works. Are there any plans to commence the construction of the standard gauge railway line linking Voi, Mwatate, and Taveta in Taita Taveta County?
Very
Thank
well.
you, Mr. Speaker.
That will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Transport, Public Works and Housing. An indication from Honorable Kosing? Well, we will pursue that with him. 2 weeks, I think, again, would be perfect. So we go to the next order.
Order number 8, the Finance Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2020, second reading. Question to be put.
Order, members. I confirm that we have the required quorum, and I therefore put the question that the Finance Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2020, be now read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. And as of a contra opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of Parliament to amend the laws relating to various taxes and duties and for matters incidental thereto. Order number 9, the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendments Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2020, first reading. A bill for an act of Parliament to make various amendments to statute law. Order number 10, the Social Assistance Repeal Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2020, first reading. A bill for an act of Parliament to repeal the Social Assistance Act.
Honorable members, before we proceed, I want to make a communication. And honorable members, before we proceed to the next order, being the Committee of the Whole House on the Finance Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2020, I wish to make the following guidance, which relates to the consideration of part of the proposed amendment to the said bill. As you may be aware, as you may have observed, the notices annexed to today's order paper contains several amendments that have been proposed to the bill. Most of the amendments have been proposed by the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning, which has sponsored the bill, the Departmental Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs, and the Departmental Committee on Transport, Public Works and Housing. There are also amendments proposed by member for Kikuyu constituency, which I'm guided have similarity with those of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning. I have approved all those amendments as they are in order with respect to the requirements of Article 114 of the Constitution and our standing orders. Those proposed amendments may therefore be considered in the Committee of the Whole House. Honorable members, there are also other amendments proposed by Leader of Minority Party, Honorable John Mbadi, and other proposed by the member for Gatundu South, Honorable Moses Kuria, whose consideration I will not permit. This is because the amendments proposed by the two honorable members have not complied with provisions of Article 114 of the Constitution and Standing Order 133.5. As honorable members are aware, it is now an established practice that whenever the House is to consider any matter that may have financial implications on public funds, the House is bound to proceed only in accordance with the recommendations of the relevant committee, having taken views of the Cabinet Secretary for Finance. Indeed, the intentions of this provision is to ensure that while the House reserves the power to determine revenue-raising measures, it ought not to commit the public without taking cognizance of the fiscal policy and other consideration of the national government. Further, honorable members, Standing Order 133.5 also provides that no amendments shall be permitted to be moved if the amendment deals with a different subject or proposes to unreasonably or unduly expand the subject of the bill, or is not appropriate or is not in logical sequence to the subject matter of the bill. Honorable members, the Leader of my Minority Party, Honorable John Mbadi, is proposing to amend the bill in clause 12 by inserting a new item in the second schedule of the Value Added Tax Act 2013, whose effect is to zero rate taxable goods imported or purchased for direct and exclusive use in implementations of official aid-funded projects. In addition, the member for Gatundu South, Honorable Moses Kuria, is proposing to amend clause 11 of the bill, as well as an insertion of a new clause 14A, 14B, 28A, and new clause 38 in the bill. These amendments targeting the Value Added Tax 2013, the Tax Procedures Act 2015, Insurance Act Cap 487, and the Stamp Duty Act Cap 480, not only offends the provisions of Standing Orders 133.5, but proceedings with the same would offend the provisions of Article 114 of the Constitution. This is because the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning, having taken views of the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury, recommends to the House in its report that the House should not proceed to consider the amendments. I therefore direct that the Committee of the Whole House shall not consider the amendments proposed by the two members to the stated bill. The House is accordingly guided, and I thank you.
Order number 11, Committee of the Whole House.
Hold your horses. Very well, honorable members, welcome to the Committee of the Whole House on this very, very important bill. As a member said earlier, this explains why we are a budget-making house. Last week we dealt with the Committee of Supply. Now we are Finance Bill. Later in the afternoon, we'll do the Appropriation Act. All this is part and parcel of the budget process. Honorable members, may I give this guidance from the onset? Those who, especially those who are moving amendments, particularly the chair, just take your time to explain the import of especially the amendments that you bring or any other member, so that the members are very clear from the onset, the import and the reason of the amendments. And then, honorable members, let's also agree we may not have so many members speak to any clause. We just pick one or two so that we make progress.
Clause 2.
Yes. What is your point of order, Honorable Miri? What is your seat number?
I don't know, thank you.
Behind you. It helps for us to...
Oh, thank you. It's 126.
126.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
Honorable
you, Chair.
Miri, please.
Chair, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Chair, I just wanted to raise a concern that I've raised before, that when we are in the committee of the whole House, because we are not usually very many, would it be possible for us to be availed the bill that we're dealing with? Because like right now I'm trying to look for it online and I can't find it. Can we please, to enable us follow what we are dealing with?
Okay, very well.
Yes.
Point noted. Actually, the clerk has undertaken to avail some copies so that then the members are able to follow on this very important. That will happen as we proceed. I'm told that it's actually available on soft, but as Honorable Miri of Yoba said, we also have the hard copies. We want the members to follow so that the decisions they make from a point of information. So the circulation will happen as we proceed. Let's move on.
Clause 2.
Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 2 be part of the bill. There is a proposed amendment by the Honorable Chair, Honorable Limo.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 2 be amended as per the order paper. The justification for this, Mr. Chair, is that there is a proposal to lift the upper limit for rental income from the current 10 million to 15, whereas also lifting the lower limit from 144 to 288, in line with what was done in tax law to relieve employees who are earning 24,000 and below. So in line with that, also for those who are in the informal sector and earning their income through rental, they have been also relieved in line with what we did, so that anybody who is receiving rent up to 288,000 and below per year is relieved from paying rental tax.
Very well. Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 2 be amended as proposed by the chair. I'll put the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 2 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 3 and 4.
Honorable members, I propose a question that clauses 3 and 4 be part of the bill. There are no amendments to that. I therefore put the question that clauses 3 and 4 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 5.
Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 5 be part of the bill. There is an amendment by the chairperson. Honorable Limo.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 5 be amended as per the order paper. Mr. Chair, the bill was initially proposing that the capital, the tax deduction, which has been offered, which had always been offered to those who engage in social responsibility projects like building schools and hospitals, they have been enjoying the benefit of being allowed to use it to deduct their tax liability. However, this bill was proposing to remove it. But as a committee, we agreed, and in fact we agreed with the National Treasury, that anybody who is engaging in social responsibility should not be denied the benefit. And therefore we are moving this amendment so that they can retain the benefit if you build a school, hospital, or any associated amenities for the benefit of the community.
Very well. Let me propose a question first. Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 5 be amended as proposed by the chair. Honorable Sankok.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. And Honorable Chair, we do support that particular amendment because for a long time, persons with disability have been benefiting from corporate social responsibility. Honorable Chair, it is only in 2003 that we had the Act of Parliament of Persons with Disability, session paper number 14. Honorable Chair, before that, it was purely corporate social responsibility. So we really need those companies that will have corporate social responsibility to continue enjoying tax reliefs.
Very well. Honorable, yes, Honorable, I almost said the chair of budget. Honorable Ishongwa. Yes, well, the member for Kikuyu.
Thank you, Chair. It's Chair Emeritus, no longer the Chair of Budget. But I want to support that particular amendment, Honorable Chair, and indeed inform the country that we cannot punish good acts and acts that are done in good faith. My constituency has benefited from sin taxes that come from people like Kenya Breweries, BAT, and I have seen a lot of support in the drier parts of my constituency from the East African Breweries Foundation providing water. And therefore, if they are to benefit by not being taxed for these activities, if you go to Maas Island, Honorable Chair, a lot of schools have been built through corporate social responsibility, and we need to encourage our corporates, especially at this time of COVID. A lot of corporates have come in to donate even funds to the COVID fund, and we need to encourage them to continue doing so to support our people, and therefore support.
Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 5, as be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 5, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 6 and 7.
I propose a question that clauses 6 and 7 be part of the bill. There are no amendments to that. I therefore put the question that clauses 6 and 7 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 8.
I propose a question that clause 8 be part of the bill. There is an amendment by the chair, Finance, Honorable Limo. Clause 8.
All right, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 8 be amended as per the order paper. Honorable Chair, I will explain. I'll explain both A. There is A, B, and C. In A, what we are doing is to reject the proposed amendment, which was proposing to remove the exemption from income tax that was available for income of National Social Security Fund, NSSF. This one, we saw it as not good because it was going to reduce the benefits which were going to be payable to the members of NSSF. Part B, Mr. Chair, it was a proposal to remove paragraph 53. And we realized paragraph 53 contained two issues, which one of them was taxation to benefits to pensioners. And therefore, to separate the contents of that paragraph, we proposed to delete the whole paragraph, and then in C, we returned the benefit which was given to the members of the public who are receiving monthly pension and they are 65 years of age and above. So what we are doing here is to save the members of the pensioners. I know in the public domain, the pensioners have been crying that there is a proposal to tax them. However, through this amendment B and C, we have returned that benefit to them so that they will not be taxed.
Very well. Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 8 be amended as proposed by the chair. Honorable, let's have two members speak to this. Honorable Miri.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want to congratulate the Chair of Finance for the amendments that is brought so far, including the one on corporate social responsibility and goodwill. But I want to thank him especially over this, because if you have pensioners that have worked and served this country well, and we want to start pursuing people who are over 65 years and above, who are struggling at home, and we know that even pensioners are still, so many other people are still dependent on them. So it was actually wrong that we even imagine, we know that the country is struggling because of COVID, but we need to find more novel ways of cushioning the economy than to look for even more vulnerable people. These are the same people that we are even collecting money for as vulnerable, then we are still following them and taxing. So I fully support, Chair.
Very well, because there's quite a bit of interest on this particular one, on the pensioners. I had said we'll have two members speak. If you speak for 1 minute, I can give open up beyond the two, because on this particular one. Let's have Honorable Mary first. Mary.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I just want to say that actually this amendment is very good, and I want to congratulate the Chair of Finance, because taxing pensioners is actually doing double taxation, because they had actually paid taxes during their service time, and two, this is the time when they are very vulnerable. They are aged, they need money to buy drugs, and they also have a lot of dependents. And two, on the social responsibility issue, I think it is something that is going to enhance the care, the social responsibility of institutions and organizations. I thank you.
Honorable Tiende.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Chairman, I actually came to support this particular move, and I want to laud the committee and the chair for seeing the wisdom to reverse this particular dangerous trend. I received representations, particularly from a group of pensioners, to come and amend what could have been very wrong. Mr. Chairman, even in law, when you are engaged on certain terms, those terms cannot just adversely be changed to your detriment after you have served. And it is quite important that those who serve can be sure that their pension will be protected. I fully support, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Honorable Jonah, if you take 1 minute, especially on this, give a few members so that...
Thank you, Speaker. I also support. I am even wondering, in the first place, who had brought in that clause, because how do we charge pensioners who have been paying taxes all the time? How do we continue milking the old cow? So I think it is a very good, wise decision from the chair, Mr. Limo, to remove that clause. Thank you.
Thank you. I just join other members in supporting this, because a lot of pensioners had raised this issue of taxation of their pensions. Pensions are meager in comparison to the regular income that the person has been earning. So if you subject it again to tax, it becomes a problem. So I support and congratulate the committee and the chair.
Honorable Whip, Majority Whip.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I want to thank the chair of the committee that pensioners should not be taxed anymore. These are people who have paid taxes since they began working until they went to retire. Therefore, Honorable Chair, I wish to support seriously that one.
Honorable members, let's really make progress on this one. I think the House, let the House make a decision on this honestly, so that we make progress. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 8 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 9 and 10.
I propose a question that clauses 9 and 10 be part of the bill. No amendments to those. I therefore put the question that clauses 9 and 10 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 11.
I propose a question that clause 11 be part of the bill. There is an amendment on subclause 11A by the chair. In fact, it is not just 11A. You can just move all of them. The 3 sub-clauses that you want to... So the House makes a decision on the entire clause.
All right.
11.
Okay. Yeah, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 11 be amended as per the order paper. And Honorable Chair, I will explain all the parts. But the first part was actually an amendment to remove the exemption of aluminium PIFA-proof cups under tariff number 8309/1990. This exemption of these products is no longer relevant, and the stakeholders actually and the National Treasury agreed to this, that it is no longer relevant, it is no longer an item which is used. And then on part B, on the second one was an amendment in the bill which sought to delete the exemption that was available for machinery and equipment in the construction of plastics recycling plants. This amendment was actually introduced in 2019 to encourage the investment in plastic recycling in line with what has been implemented in Kenya, that we no longer use plastics and therefore we encourage recycling so that they do not spoil the environment. So this benefit was being reversed, and the committee felt that it is not yet time that we can revise something we passed in 2019 so that we become predictable. The next one, Mr. Chair, is that the committee, because of COVID, this COVID period is actually hurting the lives of Kenyans. And it has been realized that, the best way is to ensure that all essential goods, including bread and milk, which we did in tax law, are moved to 0 rated. So what we are proposing here in this bill, and it will come later on in Clause 12 without anticipating debate, is to move unga from the current exempt to 0 rated. Now, so to align it to that, we have to remove unga and supply of maize flour and others, including wheat. What we are doing here is to remove it from the exempt because we will be moving to 0. So that is the explanation, Mr. Chair.
Very well. Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 11 be amended as proposed by the chair. I will put the question that clause 11 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 11 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Now, there were amendments, 2 other proposed amendments on clause 11 by Honorable Badi, the minority leader, and Honorable Moses Kuria. In line of the communication by the Speaker earlier, this has been disallowed in line with Article 114 of the Constitution and Standing Order 133(5). So the 2 have been disallowed in line of the earlier communication by the Speaker. Next.
Clause 12.
Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 12 be part of the bill. There is an amendment by Honorable Chair. Honorable Junet, don't engage the chair too much. He has some duty there. Yes, you have the floor.
All right, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 12 be amended as per the order paper. Basically, Mr. Chair, what this clause is doing is to 0 rate the supply of flour, the supply of maize flour, cassava, wheat, and all that, so that it makes it cheaper, especially during this COVID period. It will make it cheaper and affordable to the Kenyans, to the many Kenyans.
Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 12 be amended as proposed by the chair. I'll give 2 members only. From this side, Honorable Sankok, if you could be brief, we really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and thank you, the Honorable Chair or finance for that particular amendment. We really need basic food, that is flour and rice, cassava, to be zero rated for the sake of common citizens. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Honorable, I can't tell who this member is. Is this Honorable Makau? Makari, yes, Honorable Makari, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I think I must commend the Chair of Finance for this amendment of zero rating maize flour, cassava flour. These are basic essentials, Mr. Chairman, and I think as a House, we support this. I support.
I now put the question that clause 12 be amended as proposed by the Chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 12, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next clause. Next clause.
Clause 13.
I propose a question that clause 13 be part of the bill. No amendment to clause 13. I therefore put the question that clause 13 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Yes, on clause 12, I didn't pronounce myself on still the earlier communication by the Speaker on the amendment by the minority leader, which was disallowed in line with Article 114 of the Constitution and Standing Order 135, just for record. Next clause.
Clause 14.
I propose a question that clause 14 be part of the bill. There is an amendment by the Chair, Finance. Honorable Limo.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 14 be amended as per the order paper. Mr. Chair, there are two parts here, and both are actually aiming at enhancing collection of revenue. There was a proposal to reduce the standard, the content of alcohol from the current 10% to 8%. So we are proposing to lower it to 6% so that we can collect more, but at the same time ensure that the market is actually operating normally. And part B, Mr. Chair, is proposing to delete paragraph 5 in part. It is actually, I want to move a further amendment on that because there is an error. Instead of referring to part 2, it is referring to part 1. So part B should be amended to read part 2 instead of what is being referred to as part 1. This is going to enhance revenue because currently the revenue is going down.
Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 14 be amended as proposed by the Chair. I put the question that, before I put the question, Makari, Honorable Makari.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I think the Chair, when you look at part 2 of that amendment, it still states 8, and you're saying moving from 10 to 6. So I don't know whether the 8 there should be changed to 6 or it still remains 8, because it still reads 8%.
Honorable Chair, if you could clarify that.
Okay, let me clarify. It is actually proposing, the bill was proposing to move from 10 to 8. To 8. However, we are proposing an amendment to move it from 8 to 6. Oh, yeah, so both, even the other part should also, thank you very much for the correction. Even part 2 should read, should read 6. Yeah, it should read 6. Yeah, so I'm moving a further amendment so that it will read from 8 to 6.
Very well. Honorable Makari, thank you for raising that. I therefore put the question that clause 14 be amended as proposed by the Chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 14, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? No. The ayes have it.
Clauses 15, 16, 17, and 18.
I propose a question that clauses 15, 16, 17, 18 be part of the bill. No amendments to those. I therefore put the question that clauses 15, 16, 17, and 18 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. What is your point of order, Honorable Miri?
Chair, could you please direct the beer drinkers next to me who are complaining after their amendment has been, the amendment has been carried? There are beer drinking members who are complaining very loudly. Can you please direct them?
Well, Honorable Miri Odhiambo, you're out of order because beer drinking is not a problem. But I'm wondering, the two members, are they seated in the right places? Because they seem to be very close to each other. Honorable Keoni and Honorable Kwenya, I know you are neighbors back at home, but you cannot, there must be social distance. Let's make progress.
Clause 19.
Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 19 be part of the bill. Honorable Limo, you have an amendment?
Yeah, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 19 be amended as per the order paper. Honorable Chair, the amendment is to provide that the exemption for import declaration fee is only available specifically for equipment, machinery, and motor vehicles for the official use by the KDF and the National Police. The initial use in the bill of all goods may lead to abuse of the exemption. And therefore, we were moving so that we become specific on the items which the IDF will be exempted. Likewise, on Part B, we were also moving in the same way so that railway development levy is tied to specific items, which is equipment, machinery, and motor vehicles for use by KDF and police, so that it's not general, it is specific.
Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 19 be amended as proposed by the chair. I now put the question that clause 19 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 19 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 20.
I propose a question that clause 20 be part of the bill. No amendment to that clause. I therefore put the question that clause 20 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 21.
I propose a question that clause 21 be part of the bill. We have an amendment not by Chairperson Finance this time, but the Chairperson Transport. Honorable Kosing.
I thank you, Honorable Chair, and we work together in a seamless manner with the Chair Finance. Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 21 be amended as it is on the order paper. Honorable Chair, our motivation is clarity in terms of definition of the word toll collector. In the original bill, it wasn't clear, Honorable Chair, and therefore what we are doing here, we are proposing that we make it clear to include or to mean that toll collector appointed under Section 4, which is public, and also a toll collector must mean the same thing as it is on a private toll collector appointed under Section 4B. So the toll collector must have the same definition to refer to private toll collector and also a public toll collector, Honorable Chair. But that was missing in the original bill. Thank you.
I propose a question that clause 21 be amended as proposed by the Chairperson Transport. Yes, Honorable Kimani Ichungwa.
Chair, I don't think the chair has come out quite clearly on these two definitions of the public toll collector and the private toll collector. And as you are aware, Honorable Speaker, there are proposals to toll very many of our roads. And if you are not careful with these definitions, we may find private entities that are really not beneficial to the public, collecting money from members of the public, and not necessarily plowing back this money to the development of the infrastructure. Therefore, I think the chair needs to be a bit clearer, because he's just basically read it as it is on the order paper. He's not come out to really explain what he wants to achieve with this redefinition. And you know, in legislation, definition is everything, Honorable Speaker, Chair.
Honorable Kosing, for the purpose of the House, the members, why don't you do a further import, the import of your amendment, particularly?
Honorable Chair, if you look at the original bill, and before even the original bill, the Act itself, the Toll Act, there are two sections that talk differently. Section 4 talks about public toll collector. Section 4A talks about private toll collector. But if you look at the definition in the bill, now not in the Act, because it's not there, in the bill that was proposed, it wasn't clear, Honorable Chair, what do you mean by, or which toll collector are you talking about, if you look at the bill. And if you look at that clause 21, Honorable Speaker, if you allow me, then I can read. But if you look at it, it wasn't saying what toll collector you're talking about. Are you talking about a public toll collector as indicated under Section 4, or a private toll collector as prescribed under Section 4B? And therefore, Honorable Speaker, we are proposing, so that it is very clear, that the toll collector means the toll collector appointed under Section 4, which is not a public toll collector, or a private toll collector appointed under 4A. So it's as clear as that, Honorable Chair.
Very well.
Maybe my colleague, Honorable Chungwa.
Very well, very well, very well. I therefore put the question that clause 21 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 21 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 22.
I propose the question that clause 22 be part of the bill. Honorable Chair Rimo, you have an amendment.
Yes, Honorable Chair. I beg to move that clause 22 be amended as per the order paper. Mr. Chair, the amendment is to provide specifically that the private toll collectors may only collect from roads that are constructed under public-private partnership arrangements, so that this will avoid instances where private tax collectors can operate tolls on roads which are constructed using public funds. This is very clear. We wanted to ensure that specifically what was moved by the chair of Honorable Kosing will only apply to PPPs. And this is very important because we know there are two roads which are very key. The one from airport to Westlands and the one from Nairobi to Mausami, which are about to be done, and in fact they have started. It is important that these apply to such kind of roads because under PPP they are supposed to recoup their investment, including their agreed profits.
I propose a question that clause 22 be amended as proposed by the chair. Yes, let's have one person. Honorable Sankoko, you look very...
Yes, I just wanted to request, and thank you, Chair, to request the Chair of Finance. Is there a way we can also maybe include railway or railway line? Because very soon we may need a railway built through private-public partnership. And even bridges, Honorable Chair, because the issue that we are facing in Mombasa through the ferry, so that we can also have a bridge of...
Honorable Sankok, the best way would have been for you to propose a further amendment, which you didn't. So can therefore, Honorable Member, Honorable Sankok, yes, Honorable, let's have two majority leader. You want to speak to this?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, indeed, during my own contribution during this debate, I did allude to the fact that we might need to open up the tolling and all that to include all services that might need to be procured through PPP. But for now, I would urge that perhaps we process what is ready, and then we bring a more comprehensive bill that will now cover the whole range of services, because there might be different permutations for who does water, who does railway, and all that, rather than try to bring it within this one bill.
Very well.
That will bring the amendments not in the finance bill or tolling bill, but within a PPP framework.
Very
so
well.
much as I understand where Honorable Sankok is coming from, but the timing may not be right for this.
Very well.
Yeah,
Very well.
thanks.
Honorable Atandi, don't you want us to make progress? Just a minute, Honorable Atandi.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just wanted to agree with the chairman and to say that this amendment is very important for institutionalizing public-private partnership. You realize today, government is borrowing so much to fund infrastructure. But we have been saying here that some of these debts are very expensive. So actually, this amendment will ensure that actually we can fund some of these projects without using our resources. Thank you, Speaker.
I now put the question that clause 22 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 22 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 23 and 24.
I propose a question that clauses 23 and 24 be part of the bill. No amendments to that. I therefore put the question that clauses 23 and 24 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 25.
I propose a question that clause 25 be part of the bill. Honorable Chairperson, Transport, you have an amendment. Clause 25.
Yes, Chair, I have an amendment. And Chair, I beg to move that clause 25 be amended as it is on the order paper. And if you look at it, Honorable Chair, A is saying except transit toll. Here, Honorable Chair, what we are proposing, in the original, in the bill, we created a fund, which is toll fund, which will be domiciled in Treasury. However, Honorable Chair, in the description of that toll fund, it included what we call transit tolls. Transit toll, Honorable Speaker, has no relation at all with the toll regime we are creating, or even the toll fund we are instituting. Transit toll, Honorable Chair, is already existing, and it is in practice, it is in use, and it is domiciled in Kenya Roads Board, Honorable Chair, under what we call, of course, maintenance. And therefore, we are then separating then the fund. We are removing the transit toll to remain in the KRB because it's already existing. The new fund we are creating is for toll, Honorable Speaker, Chair, so we are separating. In B, if you look at B there, what we are doing, Honorable Chair, is introducing the role of this fund. As Honorable Tandi earlier said, that we are actually having creativity, moving away from having borrowing money outside there, and come up with new ingenious ways of funding our roads. But Honorable Chair, we will not only satisfy the people of Kenya, unless we say, where is this money going? And that is why this amendment is telling the people of Kenya the money will go to develop, repair, and maintain roads, Honorable Chair, so that the money is not collected and used elsewhere. Parliament and people of Kenya must know that the money which will be collected will be used for the purpose of development of the roads, Honorable Chair.
Very well. Very well. Honorable members, I will propose a question that clause 25 be amended as proposed by the chair. Let's have two members speak to this, particularly those members who haven't spoken. Honorable Bui.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think this is a genuine amendment because, as explained by the Chair of Transport, it clearly just defines the use of that money and also clearly ensures that that money is not diverted to other uses. So I think it's a good amendment. I support.
Honorable Sheikh.
Chair, I support that amendment. The first amendment separates the two tolls, and B gives the functions, the money, what to be used for the money specifically, for maintenance of roads, repair of roads. So, Chair, I support the amendment. It's a good amendment.
Okay, very well. Let's, before further amendment, let's have the member.
I support the amendment which was brought by the chair. This is just to give clarity, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, because there are two different types of tolls. Tolls that already, tariff toll that already exist under the RMLF, and a new toll which has been proposed under PP, Private-Public Partnership Program. This was just to separate those different tolls. I support the amendment.
Very well. Honorable Tongi, I hear Honorable Miri, you have a further amendment, but let's hear from.
Thank you, Chairman, for the opportunity. I have concern, whereas I am supporting the amendment, Chairman, have concern that there are too many toll stations also being erected by the county governments. Are they affected by this arrangement? And if yes, are we not causing confusion in the system? That's why we need clarity in terms of definition to know which one toll stations are being affected. You know, they must be clear in our definition, Madam Chairman, because we know definition is everything in law.
Very well. What is the clarification on number one? There are two clarifications. If we could take half a minute, I'll give Chair, please take note of what members are saying, because it's important.
Thank you, Chair. I support the amendment to separate the exit transfer toll so that KRB remains and continues to do its work. But my clarification is on the amendment moved by the Chair of Transport, where he says development, repair, or maintenance of roads as the minister may direct. Is this the Minister for National Treasury, or is it the Minister for Transport at the time? Because I feel that directing which roads and so on should remain in the domain of the Minister for Transport rather than the Minister for National Treasury. So that minister in that amendment should be clarified so that we know which minister.
Very well. Honorable Makari, just a clarification you were saying. And then before that, Honorable Makari, Honorable Miri Odhiambo, I heard you mention that you have a further amendment. It's good for you to have that in writing, and I'm sure you can approach the table to be helped. In line standing order 1.3, I'm just giving you that so that then as a member speak, you prepare yourself to that. The further amendment. I heard you say you have a further amendment. So it is important to approve. Okay, I'm sure you can consult as we hear the.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, well, I really support these amendments, but I think the chair should come out very clear because, Mr. Chairman, we are discussing these tolls under the framework of public partnership, the PPP. So when he talks about the minister coming in, my understanding is once you recover your money and the profit, that becomes a public road and things will move just normal. So when you talk about a minister, this could cause confusion. I think it's really better you come out clear so that it's clear to us as we approve this. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Very well. Chair, yes, Honorable Nimrod. Then we... Honorable Chair, I'll give you a chance, certainly.
The mic, guys. Thank you, Chair. Mr. Chair, I rise in support, but I would also, because you've seen county governments gearing towards PPPs. Does this affect what is happening with the county governments, or how do we go ahead and regulate the same up to the level of the county governments? Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Joyce, 1 minute, then we give the Chair. We make progress.
Thank you very much, Chair. I want to support the amendment that has been brought forward by our EPO Chair. And I want to say that I think when you go to a number of countries, the issue of the toll, the PPP toll is really working in terms of supporting the infrastructure. Thank you.
Very well. I'm giving one more member so that Honorable Miri finishes her proposed amendment, further amendment to this amendment, and possibly speaks to the chair. If the chair is gracious enough, he could accede to that amendment and move himself. Yes, Honorable Nyenze. Honorable Miri, you better consult quickly because we...
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I stand to support the amendment, but also note that the government should be very careful on the amount of money to be collected by the people in the PPP so that they don't exceed the required amount. Thank you. I support.
Very well. Yes, Honorable Sankok.
Thank you very much.
And then I'll give it to
Chair.
Honorable Chair and Honorable Miri.
And by the way, Chair, I support this amendment because it will completely remove the issue of corruption, because it is now the public-private partnership that will construct the road and collect the money, rather than us borrowing the money and probably using it in other forms, and even corruption come in. But when it is in private hands, I'm sure it will be put into good use. So I do support.
Very well. Honorable Miri, are you? Yes, you know you have a right to do a further amendment. Yes. That further amendment, you get a seconder, and the House will make a decision.
Yes, Chair.
Honorable, you can't say you will second when the Honorable Miri has not even moved.
I had whispered to him. Chair, I propose a further amendment to subclause 2AB as follows, that we add the words taking into account regional balance at the end, so that even as the monies are collected, we have regional balance in dishing out these roads to the rest of the country, Chair. Yeah.
Who
now
seconds?
You can second me.
And Honorable Kosing, I'll give you a chance to speak to that amendment.
Seconding. Chairman, having Honorable Miri as my neighbor here helped me to understand the import of what she's doing. And we all appreciate that the issues in Kenya are based on the sharing of the cake. And people want to feel the government, and the only way to feel it is to ensure that people are being given a fair chance to develop at the same pace. And therefore, this amendment is healthy, is good for the country, and especially now that the president is working to unite the country, I think this comes in very handy, because if we don't have it as a requirement, then we are going to have these challenges going forward, where one region will feel like neglected at the expense of the other part of the country. So for purposes of uniting the country, just like the president stands for, and we all support him, we want to have this amendment so that we have one united country, at least Kenyan feeling that they're also beneficiaries in all this national cake sharing process. Thank you.
Let me make a proposal first, so that then finally the House will make a decision. Honorable members, I propose that the amendment by Chairperson Transport be further amended as proposed by Honorable Miri Odiabo. Honorable Kosing, I'll give the chair first, because it is the amendment, the further amendment is on his amendment.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, I think you need to guide the House. In terms of, I have no problem with that amendment, but in terms of procedure, Honorable Chair, at this level, who is supposed to move amendments? Further amendments, supposed to actually to be the owner of the amendment, which actually Miri Odiabo should actually request me to move further amendment for her, which actually, Honorable Chair, is not harmful, and therefore I can agree with her.
Honorable Kosing, you agree with her, but I would like you to refer to starting under 133. 133.3. When there is an amendment to a bill and is on the floor of the House, there is a chance, there is room, there is opportunity for a member to do a further amendment on an amendment. If you read the starting order 133.3, it is on basis of that Honorable Miri Odiabo amendment has been allowed. Honorable members, so that we don't take a lot of time on this is still a further amendment. We haven't dealt with the original amendment, so I'll put the question, Honorable members, so I'll make progress. Honorable members, I will now put the question that the further amendment on the amendment by the Chairperson of Transport be approved. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I will put the question now on the full amendment by Honorable Kosing as amended by Honorable Miriam Diabo's amendment. I hope members are catching that. I now put the question that clause 25 be amended as proposed. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 25 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next.
Clause 26.
I propose a question that clause 26 be part of the bill. There is an amendment by the chairperson of transport. I hope we can move slightly faster on this now, honorable members, so to make progress.
We are moving fast, honorable
Very
Chair,
well.
and therefore I beg to move that clause 26 be amended as it is in the standing order. And honorable Speaker, Chair, what we are doing here is we are enhancing the punishment of lawbreakers. And the original act has a maximum of 5,000. And through public participation, honorable Chair, we agreed that 5,000 was long time ago, 1980s. And therefore we are moving to 50, a maximum of 50,000, honorable Chair.
Very well. Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 26 be amended as proposed by the chair. I'll put the question that clause 26 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 26 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 27, 28, and 29.
I propose a question that clauses 27, 28, and 29 be part of the bill. No amendments to that. I therefore put the question that clauses 27, 28, and 29 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 30.
I propose a question that clause 30 be part of the bill. Honorable Chair, Honorable Limo, you have a proposed deletion.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 30 be amended as per the order paper. This amendment, Mr. Chair, is to delete the new definition which was being brought to define consolidators, which we actually defined under Finance Bill 2019. This will ensure that the consolidators are well regulated and they will be responsible for the consolidated cargo. The proposed amendment in the bill was actually going to reverse the gains which were intended in Finance Bill 2019 of ensuring that the traders the small traders are actually assisted by consolidators who are now which was actually proposed to be regulated so that when they import, it is known who is importing and is importing on behalf of small traders. So we were proposing that we reject the new definition because it was going to reverse the gains which were intended in 2019.
Honorable members, I propose a question that clause that be deleted as proposed by the chair. I now put the question that clause 30 be deleted as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 31.
Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 31 be part of the bill. Honorable Chair, you're proposing a deletion?
Yes, Chair, I am proposing a deletion, and therefore I beg to move that clause 31 be amended as it is in the standing in the order paper. Honorable Chair, what is happening here, we are proposing a deletion of that clause because the transit toll money was actually being taken to be together with the toll fund, which is in Treasury. And what our wisdom, Honorable Chair, earlier in clause 25, to separate the fund, the transit toll, and the toll money, because we are prosecuted, that is only affecting, therefore, that prosecution that we approve, Honorable Chair, to separate the fund and retain the transit fund at KRB under the maintenance levy. Thank you, Chair.
Very well, honorable members, I propose a question that clause 31 be deleted as proposed by the chair. I now put the question that clause 31 be deleted as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 32.
I propose a question that clause 32 be part of the bill. No amendment to that. I therefore put the question that clause 32 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have question that clause 33 be part of the bill. Honorable Chair, you have an amendment. Chairperson, Finance.
Yes, Honorable Chair, we are in receipt of this amendment, Mr. Chair, was on KRA, the allocation of funding to KRA. But we have received a communication from the National Treasury that there is still consultations being done between the National Treasury and the KRA, and of course even the cabinet. So we are proposing to drop this one.
Very well. If that is dropped, I therefore put the question that clause 33 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 34.
I propose the question that clause 34 be part of the bill. Honorable Chair, Finance, you have an amendment?
Yeah, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 34 be amended as per the order paper. This amendment, Mr. Chair, is to provide that the limitation of time for matters against KRA is 3 years. This is to comply with the different decisions made by different courts that held that the Public Authority Limitation of Action Act cannot apply to the Kenya Revenue Authority. So that is a reason for this introduction.
Very well. I propose a question that clause 34 be amended as proposed by the chair. I put the question that clause 34 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 34 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 35 and 36.
I propose a question that clauses 35 and 36 be part of the bill. No amendments to that. I therefore put the question that clauses 35 and 36 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 37.
I propose a question that clause 37 be part of the bill. There is an amendment by the Chairperson, Justice and Legal Affairs. Who has a brief? Yes, Honorable Shamala.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 37 be amended as per the order paper. The amendment seeks to ensure that the proposed protection of tax revenue held on behalf of Kenya Revenue Authority by commercial banks and financial institutions during insolvency is effective by aligning the amendment to the language used in the Banking Act. And very shortly, the committee noted that the Section 4 of the Banking Act provides for licensing of persons and not registration as used in the proposed amendment. The committee was of the view that this minor amendment is necessary in order to give effect to the purpose of the amendment of the Insolvency Act as stated in the memorandum and objects of reasons for the bill.
Honorable members, I propose a question that clause 37 be amended as proposed by the Chairperson, Justice and Legal Affairs. I will put the question that the clause 37 be amended as proposed by the Chair, Justice and Legal Affairs. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 37 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Order, Majority Leader, I did not remind the members to vote. It is a vote. It's only Honorable Bui's voice that can hear. Let me put that again. I now put the question that clause 37 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. That is better. Yeah, Honorable members, we are done with the clauses. We would go to the new clauses.
New clauses. New clause 9A.
Chair, you move the second reading of new clause 9A. Honorable Limo, new clause 9A, second reading.
All right, Honorable Chair, I now beg to move that new clause 9A be now read the second time. This amendment, Mr. Chair, is to align the cross-referencing in each schedule to the amendments that were made to the second schedule in Tax Laws Amendment Act 2020. So it's a cross-referencing issue to the law which we passed in April.
Bro, I propose a question that new clause 9A be now read a second time. I put the question that new clause 9A be now read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I propose the question that new clause 9A be part of the bill. I now put the question that new clause 9A be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 10A.
Chairperson Finance, second reading, please.
Mr. Chair, I beg to move that new clause 10A be now read the second time. This amendment is intended to save the VAT exemption under paragraph 102 that was available for existing projects under the Special Operating Framework arrangement with the government. This is in line with the fact that paragraph 102 was deleted in tax law. However, there are certain projects which are already running, and therefore this amendment is intended to save those who are already in that arrangement.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 10A be now read a second time. Yes, what Honorable Wamalwa, what is it?
My concern, thank you, Chair. I was following what the Chair was saying, but he has not given full disclosure for the House to understand what is he referring to these continuous projects government that are going on.
Very well.
I think we need some more info on that.
Very well.
Thank you.
What is your point of order, Honorable Miri?
Chair, I just wanted clarity from a legal perspective that if you look at what the new clause is saying, notwithstanding the repeal of paragraph 102 of the first schedule, the exemption of goods imported or purchased locally for direct and exclusive use in the implementation of projects and a special operating framework arrangement with the government shall continue for existing projects for the remaining period of the agreement. Chair, how can we be referring to a law that is repealed? We have no legal fit with which to stand, and even though I'm not opposing this, but I think the way that this amendment should be brought should be different. Because you cannot then refer to an already repealed law as a basis for bringing an amendment. There is no law. What are we referring to? There is no law if it's already repealed. So I would just want to ask that maybe if the chair could get assistance to rephrase this so that we are not, because somebody will challenge this, we cannot be making reference to a law that is not in existence.
Very well. Honorable Chair, Honorable Miri raises a fundamental issue, not opposed to what you have, the new clause, but raising that. Do you want to speak to this? Yes, and Honorable Wamalwa as well. Let's have the chair first.
Actually, Mr. Chair, the intention here is if an entity have already been given the benefit of this exemption which was there, upon a repeal, though the law will have been repealed, but the benefit will not be taken away from them. That is the intention. Maybe I'm not a lawyer, however, I understand the logic behind it, that it should not deny the benefit to an investor who has already invested in it on the basis of a law which was existing then. That is the objective.
Honorable Kosing, Honorable Kosing. Not Honorable Kosing, sorry. Chepkut, I'm sorry, my apologies. Honorable Kosing is the one seated next to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. It is true that we want legal framework And we want at the same time disclosure be made in the amendment. But Chair, all I want, me personally, we support what majority leader wants. But at the same, yes, ours is to comply with His Excellency the President. We want to move with speed. That is agenda. Don't worry. That is agenda.
What is your point? What is your point of order? What is your point of order?
Chair, how as Chair?
There is a member who is on a point of order. What is your point of order, Honorable Joyce?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Order, Honorable Chongwa.
Thank
you. Can shout from your seat. Honorable Joyce is on the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Is it in order for the honorable members to tell us that he wants to bring or to support the amendments in the floor of the House just because he wants to show loyalty to the President? Are we working for the executive, or we are working as legislators to the people who elected us to this House?
Order members, you must make progress. We really must make progress. I am well advised that that amendment is actually in place. Honorable members, let's make progress. We have only a few minutes. I now put the question that new clause 10A be now read a second time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now propose the question that new clause 10A be part of the bill. I put the question that new clause 10A be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 13A.
I propose the Honorable Chair, please, if you can move. There are two amendments here. One is dependent on the other. We shall start with the one of the chairperson. Depending on the decision of the House, we may move to the second, but we will start with the one of the chair.
All right, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that new clause 13A be amended as per the order paper with...
It's a new clause.
It's a new clause.
Yeah, it's second reading, actually.
Yes. I want to, Mr. Chair, sorry. Mr. Chair, I propose that new clause 13A be now read as a second time with an additional amendment to replace the word shall with may. The reasoning for this, Mr. Chair, is that the Commissioner General has been making adjustments of rates annually without consulting the National Treasury CS, at the same time without passing through Parliament. So we want to say that those amendments, any amendments of rates, may be done by the Commissioner General. However, with consultation with the Cabinet Secretary in charge of National Treasury, and it must come to this House for the purpose of approval or disapproval, because it is an issue which touches on taxes, and it is a very important process for this House to make a decision.
Very well. Honorable members, I propose a question that new clause 13A be now read a second time. I'll give Honorable Ichongwa, because he had a similar amendment to that of the chair. It's good for the House to hear.
In fact, Honorable Chair, let me thank the Chair for having that amendment and agreeing after consultations to do it with a further amendment to replace the word shall with may, but just to make a clarification, the Chair to clarify that shall is in the first section of the shall that we are removing is in the sub-clause 1, not the others, because the others remain the National Assembly shall, the notice shall is only where we are talking about notice of the tax, the commissioner may, with the approval, not shall. So it's only in 1 where we are changing from, despite section 8, the commissioner may, with the approval of the cabinet secretary. And that's to provide discretion for this to be effected only when it is necessary, Honorable Speaker. But because I spoke to this during the second reading of this bill, Honorable Speaker, this particular clause as it is indeed is unconstitutional. And therefore, I want to support that amendment because it is only this House that can enact legislation that relates to taxation of the people that we represent. And therefore, we must ensure that at any time when the Commissioner General wants to effect any changes to tax rates, they must come to this House for the people to be represented by their representatives when they are being taxed, Honorable Speaker, and therefore want to support with that further amendment of the changing the word shall to may.
Honorable members, I'll put a question that new clause 13A be now read a second time. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I propose a question that new clause 13A bill. I put the question that new clause 13A be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Ninakusalimu katika jina la Yesu Kristo. Mimi ninaitwa Bishop Pius Wafula. Nina huduma wa Bible Life Ministries. Ninakaa Ongata Rongai, Nairobi. Nataka nikalisome neno la Mungu kutoka kwa kitabu cha Yeremia 32 mstari wa 26 na 27. Neno la Mungu linasema hivi: ndipo neno la Bwana likamujia Yeremia kusema, tazama mimi ni Bwana, Mungu wa wote wenye mwili. Je, kuna neno gumu lolote nisiloliweza? Hili ni swali ambalo Mungu anauliza. Ulikuwa wakati wa wana Israeli walipitia mambo magumu, na wakati Mungu aliwaita mambo hayakuwa sawa, basi Mungu akamuinua Yeremia nabii. Na alipoona wana wa Israeli wakilia, wakipita kwa maisha magumu, wakishangaa imekuwaje tena, Mungu akaambia Yeremia, nena na hawa watu wangu kwamba mimi ninawapenda, haijalishi mambo ambayo wanayapitia, maana mimi ndimi niliyewaumba. Hata wewe ambaye unanisikiliza, nataka hata nilinene hili neno katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Tunajua kuna mambo mengi ambayo tunayapitia. Maisha yamekuwa ni magumu. Watu wana vitisho, wanatishiwa, wanasema watakufa kwa sababu ya magonjwa haya. Lakini nanena neno moja ambalo Mungu amenipa kwa hili taifa. Na wewe ambaye unayenisikiza, Mungu anakuuliza, je, kuna lolote ambalo haliwezi kulifanya? Nataka nikuambia kwamba yote inawezekana tunapomtumainia Mungu. Na ndiposa aliwaambia wana Israeli, hebu tumuinulie Mungu macho yetu. Tusiyatazamie mambo ambayo tunayapitia. Maisha ambayo tunayapitia, mambo ni magumu, watu wanakufa, watu wagonjwa, kila mahali habari zinaendea kwamba tutakufa. Lakini Mungu alimuinua Yeremia na neno la tumaini kwamba, je, kuna lolote ambalo Mungu haliwezi? Kwa maana kwa majira hii atawaponya. Nami Mungu amenituma nikwambie hili neno siku ya leo. Hakuna jambo lisilowezekana. Haijalishi mambo gani ambayo tunayopitia kama mtu kibinafsi, ama nchi yote, ama Afrika yote. Lakini Mungu anasikiza, anatujali, na hataweza kuacha sisi tuangamie. Atatuponya nchi yetu Kenya, mradi tu tutaamini kwamba Mungu aliyetuumba na yeye hatatuacha. Nataka nikuambia kwamba inawezekana kama tunamuamini na tunamtumainia Mungu. Nataka tuombe pamoja na wewe ambaye umenisikiza. Baba, katika jina la Yesu Kristo, nanyosha kidole hiki kama cha unabii katika nchi yetu Kenya, na huyu msikilizaji ambaye amenisikiza, ninajua anapitia kwa mambo mazito, mambo magumu. Kuna wale wamekata tamaa ya kuishi kwa sababu ya magonjwa ya kusema kwamba tutakufa siku ambayo ama wakati wote. Lakini Mungu, ninashukuru kwa sababu umetujia na umetupa neno kwa wakati ambao unatufaa. Hakuna yeyote Mungu atakayekufa, haijalishi magonjwa gani, haijalishi maumivu anayeyapitia. Lakini kama mtumishi wako Mungu, ninanena neno la uhai kwa hali ambayo tunayopitia. Tunanena uponyaji kwa maisha kila mtu. Tunaonena uponyaji katika nchi yetu Kenya. Tunanena uponyaji kwa yeyote yule ambaye amenisikiza siku ya leo, kwamba hata kufa. Na yeyote habari ambayo tumesikiza kwamba tutaangamia, hatutakufa. Tunasimamisha hayo kwa neno la Mungu kwamba tutapona tena katika jina la Yesu Kristo. Uchumi wetu utapona tena. Maisha ya kila mtu itapona tena. Hakuna kulia, hakuna kukufa tena. Vifo tunavikomesha sasa katika jina la Yesu Kristo. Asante Mungu, maana umekuwa mwema na umenisikiza. Jinsi Mungu umenena pamoja nasi kama taifa, tunaamini tumepona tena. Katika jina la Yesu Kristo tunaomba na kuamini. Shalom. Mungu akubariki unapoamini neno la Bwana. Amen. Amen.
On the next episode of Corner.
Ya muhimu kwanza ni kujua hali yako ya status ya HIV.
You fool! Do you know what that means? If Chanakya is able to meet Bindusar, then our plan will fail. Death sentences will be awarded to me as well as to all of you.
All of this can be answered only by Acharya. And that's only possible if you treat him.
Love bila gloves haiwezi. Rieni kujua.
Afya bora, maisha bora. Jipime, jiinue.
My friend, umewahi kudanganywa? Umewahi kudanganywa? Saa ile uongo unaenda kupewa saa ni kilo 8. Saa hii tu hii ukitumia credit yako, ile uongo unaenda kupewa kwa hii simu. Mako.
Kupata umewahi danganywa, bonyeza *811 *965#. Bonyeza *811
Usiseme sikukwambia.
Now I'm confident about this, that they have locked up Acharya Chanakya here.
You and your friends are done fooling me. Not anymore. I will take you to Her Highness immediately.
Greetings, Emperor.
I see a grave danger approaching us. Along with Acharya Chanakya, there is a conspiracy to murder the entire royal family.
I have found Acharya.
On the next episode of Corner.
Kuna majamaa poa huko nje na mmoja ni wako.
Please, and I am not interested.
Kama Wanjala kuna information yoyote atakayeshare nayo, he will keep us posted.
Na time ya mambo ndogo. Enda warm up na ubebe chuma. Wanjala akiniuliza, nitamwambia everything.
The food is yet to be delivered. That's the only responsibility she has at the moment.
Can you keep a secret?
Mi niko hapa kusupport 100%.
Show me what you got. Hit me back.
So, what is it going to be? Am I going to have you or not?
Yeyote aliye na kinga hafifu mwilini yuko katika hatari ya kuambukizwa COVID-19. Hao ni kama watu ambao wanaishi na magonjwa kama vile virusi vya HIV, kansa, TB, kisukari, miongoni mwa magonjwa mengine. Lazima wazingatie matibabu ili kuboresha kinga mwilini. Lazima wahakikishe wamepata dawa ipasavyo. Tembelea kliniki yako au kituo cha afya kilicho karibu nawe kwa maelezo kamili kuhusu jinsi ya kupata dawa. Pia wasaidie jamaa na rafiki kupata dawa. Dumisha mawasiliano nao na ufuate mwongozo wa kiafya kutoka kwa kituo cha afya ili kujikinga na virusi vya korona. Pata habari kuhusu COVID-19 kupitia vyanzo vinavyoaminika. Piga 719 au bonyeza *719#. COVID-19 inazuilika. Jilinde, linda familia na jamii. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na serikali ya Kenya.
It is the 23rd day of June 2020. Good afternoon and welcome to KBC Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Hope you are having a fruitful day, on a very busy day I should say, on a day that Kirinyaga County Governor Anne Mombi Waiguru is having her day at the Senate following her impeachment by the Kirinyaga County Assembly on 9th of June. On the other side of the National Assembly, Aidan Duale did give Amos Kimunya, his predecessor, the instruments of power as the leader of majority. And talking of impeachment and under siege, Kitui County Governor is also, we're also having news on that. My name is Ben Troinjoe. Lucy Mwaura will be our sign language interpreter for this afternoon. Remember, you can get interactive at Ben Troinjoe at Channel 1 News. Remember, the hashtag is Lunchtime News. We begin with Waiguru impeachment, where the hearing of the impeachment of Kirinyaga County Governor Anne Mombi Waiguru has kicked off in the Senate, with the governor alleging a plot by the County Assembly to sneak in new evidence contrary to the rules of engagement. In her preliminary statement, Waiguru, through her lead counsel Paul Nyamondi, sought the expungement of some evidence adduced by the County Assembly, arguing that she has already issued responses to outstanding charges leveled against her. The Select Committee this week investigated Waiguru impeachment before drawing its report to be tabled in the Senate on Friday. Waiguru is accused of, among others, gross misconduct and corruption. She was impeached on 9th June by the Kirinyaga County Assembly. We are headed straight to the Senate, where we listen in to the proceedings. Apologies for the lack of audio in that, but we will be getting back to the Senate much later. We have corrected that. Moving on, still on impeachment, members of Kitui County Assembly have commenced an impeachment process to remove Governor Charity Ngilu from office. In an advert, the County Assembly has given locals until Friday, the 26th of this month, to present their views regarding the impeachment motion, which has already been presented to the Speaker of Majority Leader in the Assembly, Peter Kilonzo. The motion of the removal of Governor Ngilu will be tabled on Monday for debate.
Future of Kitui Governor Charity Ngilu hangs in a balance. The County Assembly has commenced a process for her removal from office. In an advert, the Assembly has given locals in Kitui County until Friday, the 26th of this month, to present their views on a notice of motion on the removal of the governor by impeachment presented to the Speaker by Majority Leader Peter Kilonzo. In seeking the views, the Assembly says it is guided by Article 181, Part 1A to C of the Constitution, which stipulates grounds on which a governor may be removed from office, ranging from abuse of office, crimes under national or international law, violation of the Constitution, among other ills. The motion to have Ngilu axed will be tabled on Monday in the County Assembly for debate. The development coming at a time her only female governor colleague, the Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru, is battling her survival after she was impeached by the County Assembly. Currently, a committee of Parliament is deliberating on the motion that led to the impeachment of Waiguru. Purity Museo, Channel 1 News.
Still on politics, the ousted leader of the majority party in the National Assembly, Aden Duale, says he is satisfied with his 7-year performance in that position. He acknowledged that despite the challenges he faced, he succeeded in championing the legislative agenda of the Jubilee coalition. In his exit speech, Duale also commended his successor, Kipipiri Member of Parliament Amos Kemunya, who he said was experienced enough to deliver on the mandate. Kemunya promised to forge unity in Jubilee with leaders from across the political divide for the betterment of the country. Moving on, Police Constable Duncan Ndiema has been charged with the murder of Yasin Moyo in Huruma Estate, Nairobi in March this year. Ndiema pleaded not guilty before High Court Judge Luka Kimaru and will remain in custody pending his bail application on Wednesday. Yasin was shot at the balcony of their home as police patrolled the estate to enforce the dusk to dawn curfew aimed at curbing the spread of the coronavirus. 13-year-old Yasin Moyo was playing at the balcony of their home when he met his fate on 31st March this year. An investigation by the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, singled out Police Constable Patrick Ndiema as the one who pulled the trigger on the fateful evening. The High Court had deferred Ndiema's plea taking after his lawyer said he was admitted at the Mbagathi Hospital pending the results of a coronavirus test. Ndiema, however, tested negative despite exhibiting coronavirus-like symptoms on June 19. Ndiema is remanded at Capitol Hill Police Station pending his bail application on Wednesday.
We intend to comply with the court orders. Our client is a law-abiding citizen, a career police officer. The offenses he is facing, we will not discuss it.
For Channel 1 News, I'm Ben Troy-Njue. Moving on, more than 23 patients are currently admitted to the Mwingi Level 4 hospital after being diagnosed with Kala-Azar disease. Those infected live along the Kitui-Tana River border in Madongoi, Ngomano, and Seikuru. Locals are calling on the government to visit the affected areas and come up with a solution.
Over 23 patients are currently hospitalized at Mwingi Level 4 Hospital after they were diagnosed with Kala-Azar, a chronic and potentially fatal parasitic disease that affects internal organs, particularly the liver, spleen, bone marrow, and lymph nodes. The tropical disease is caused by sandflies which live in anthills and are common in areas with camels. Most affected locals are from wards bordering Tana River County. Daniel Kimanzi, a patient who comes from Seikuru, started experiencing body weakness, exhaustion, fever, and could not walk even for a short distance.
Na ukuja kupatikana yake ilipatikana mwezi huu kitu tarehe 5-10 hivyo. Na wakati ilipatikana nikapelekwa ward. Kupelekwa kwa ward nikaanza matibabu.
Several tests at Mwingi Level 4 Hospital confirmed he had the disease.
Ni kwamba serikali kuu na serikali za mashinani hizi za county kwanza zisaidie watu na dawa, zitemshwe huko mashinani, kila kitu iwe at least.
Elizabeth Mwanziu from Seikuru in Chuso sub-county said the disease has drained their finances.
Niko na mtoto amelazwa hapa. Na mwezi wa pili nilikuwa Kenyatta nikiwa na mtoto mwingine. Bado sijalipa hiyo mbilu na sasa nimepata mtoto mwingine akalazwa Mwingi. Sasa nalilia serikali yetu ili itusaidie.
Many others are in a near similar predicament and decry lack of drugs in nearby medical facilities, calling on the Ministry of Health to intervene.
Tunaomba serikali ituonekane kwa sababu hii ni kama njangwa kama hii ya corona nasumbua watu. Tunafaa tuangaliwe sana.
And from that story, we now revisit our earlier story where Kirinyaga County Governor Anne Waiguru is having her day at the Senate following her impeachment at the Kirinyaga County Assembly.
Belongs to the people of the Republic of Kenya. And that is why this committee is sitting to represent the Republic of Kenya in this impeachment process. But the biggest question would be, shall we be able to demonstrate that Governor Waiguru was in breach of her fiduciary duty to the people of Kirinyaga County? Yes, we shall. We'll be calling those particular witnesses. Honorable members, at the fullness of time, this House will believe in our story, that we are acting in good faith, that we are acting to protect the public funds, public finance, and not just that, honorable members. The 2010 Constitution, the one we adopted, if you look at the preamble there too, the adoption of the 2010 Constitution was adopted for this generation and our future generation. It then has a question of intergenerational equity and intragenerational equity. The biggest question is, in terms of leadership, in terms of integrity, what are we teaching our children? What ethics are our leaders teaching to our children? We'll be able to prove that Governor Waiguru does not portray a good example in this generation and even for the future generation. Remember, the work that we shall do today shall go on record. This is a house of record, and our future generation shall have reference to what we did today. History will judge us whether we did the correct thing to protect the Republic from flagrant fraud and flagrant theft of national resources. Honorable members, this is not just a case for Kirinyaga County. It is a case for the Republic of Kenya. The person at Homa Bay, the person at Kilifi, the person at Lamu, the person at Bungoma, the person, the Mama Mboga at Bungoma, the Mama Mboga at Kirinyaga County, Murang'a County, and all the 47 counties contributed to the penny that the Kirinyaga people are seeking to protect. It is therefore incumbent upon us, and most importantly this House, to make sure that devolution is protected, not by protecting those that have questionable conduct, not by protecting individuals whose public management is in question, not by protecting individuals who go rogue on the question of the application of the law, but protecting devolution in the right manner, in the right form, and in the right context. Honorable members will be able to demonstrate all those issues that the county assembly has raised. Look at the conduct of Governor Waiguru when she's called upon just to have an honor among the persons whom she was elected in office with, the county assembly. She has an attitude that the county assembly are not people worth of listening, are not people worth of my address, are not even the letters written to them, are not worth of any response. But does the county assembly exist in utopia? No. The county assembly exists in law. Article 176 has constituted the county assembly and the county executive as one organ. There is no separation. There is no pure separation there too. And that is why the Constitution has provided that there is established a county government which shall consist of the county executive and the county assembly. That creation of that organ without a clear distinct as it exists in the national government presupposes that there is no one who is above the other. But what is the conduct of Governor Waiguru? Governor Waiguru has chosen to undermine the authority of the assembly. Governor Waiguru, for one reason or the other, became drunk of power. Governor Waiguru, for one reason or the other, failed to submit to the jurisdiction of the county assembly. The biggest question then that this committee will ponder is one, in the event where the Governor Waiguru fails to submit to the authority of the assembly, how will the assembly execute its oversight mandate? The other question is, was the deliberate attempt or deliberate actions of undermining the county assembly by design or by default? We'll be answering in affirmative that the failure, or rather, the question of undermining the county assembly was not by default, it was by design, to make sure that she removes herself from the armpits of oversight by the county assembly. In such kind of circumstances, how can or how will the government of Kirinyaga County continue to exist with a governor who feels that he or she is above the county assembly? The question of undermining the county assembly undermines the supremacy of the people of Kirinyaga County, undermines the sovereignty of the people of Kirinyaga County, because they are not, Governor Waiguru is not in office by her own operation. She's in office by the operation of the law. That people in 2017 cast a vote that returned in her favor. She cannot then be seen to undermine that vote. It is now the time to teach the current generation and the future generation that such an action of serious transgression to the law cannot go unpunished. These records of today will be records of tomorrow. We must make sure that we get it right from the beginning. Honorable members, as I sum up, Governor Waiguru does not sign any document. So from the bundles of the documents brought in today as our evidence, and even the evidence from the county executive, you will not see her hand in it. That is how clever, and that is how these aspects of abuse of office, this is how aspects of plundering public resources manifest themselves in our case. That the signatures were put by individuals, not voluntarily, but through coercion, intimidation, and through the forceful might of the governor of Kirinyaga County. Honorable members, I'll cite to you 3 companies, one called Velocity, and I wish to spell Velocity is V-O-L-E-C-I-T-Y. I will also cite in our submissions a company called Velocity, which is V-O-L-E-C-T-Y. You may not be clever to have a distinction of those two companies. I'll show you how it manifested itself. That a company that was incorporated in 2017 can bid or can participate in a bid, in an open bid, 2018. That a company that was incorporated in 2017 can allege to be having audited accounts for 3 years. That a company that was incorporated in 2017 can allege to be having an experience of 5 years. A company is awarded tenders worth millions of money. The company does not have any experience. It has not met the threshold of the Public Procurement and Disposal Act, but the company is let go under the auspices or under the watch of Governor Waiguru's employees, under the watch of Wayne Gishera, the advisor to the governor. I will demonstrate to you, and it has been captured in the response by the governor, that how one company associated to the chief finance officer, one Mogondadi, was always favored with tenders. These tenders, some of them were classified tenders. I'll then manifest to you during our evidence that it was not in default that Davi Mogo became the chief officer. We'll be adducing evidence that it was a favor that was being returned. Whose favor was it being returned to? It was being returned to one.
That is a live feed from the county hall, where that has been the counsel for the Kirinyaga County Assembly making his submissions after Anne Waiguru has already made her submission, where she's trying to shake off corruption and abuse of office claims. And we have my colleague Ed Kabasa is keeping his eyes peeled on that, on what will transpire today, and he will be bringing a much comprehensive report. We now revisit our earlier story where the ousted leader of Majority Party in the National Assembly, Adan Duale, says he is satisfied with his 7-year performance in that position. He acknowledged that despite the challenges he faced, he succeeded in championing the legislative agenda of the Jubilee Coalition. In his exit speech, Duale also commended his successor, Kipipiri Member of Parliament Amos Kimunya, who he said was experienced enough to deliver on the mandate. Kimunya promised to forge unity in Jubilee with leaders from across the political divide for the betterment of the country.
The end of my service as the first leader of Majority Party of this House under Article 108 of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, to this end, I wish to thank the President of the Republic of Kenya and my party leader, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, the Deputy President, His Excellency William Ruto, and the entire Jubilee Party, including the members of Parliament, for having given me the opportunity to serve the people of Kenya as the leader of majority for the past 7 years now. Mr. Speaker, I also take this opportunity to again thank my colleagues from the minority party, those in the 11th Parliament led by my late brother, Honorable Nyenze, Honorable Jacob Midio, and the current leadership, led by my very, very good friend, and a man we joined Parliament together in the 10th Parliament, Honorable Bandi, and Honorable Mbui, who is a deputy. I also take this opportunity to again congratulate my able successor, the Honorable Amos Kimunya, as he takes over the office of the leader of Majority Party in the August House. Honorable Speaker, I know he has a wealth of experience, having served as a Minister for Finance and held various leadership positions in Parliament, and for this, I have no doubt in my mind that he has what it takes. Honorable Kimunya, I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best in your new appointment, and again, congratulations. Honorable Speaker,
moving on, a section of members of Parliament from Marsabit County have taken issue with security apparatus in the area for the rampant killings being witnessed. The leaders claim 2 more people were killed on Monday in what they say could be revenge motivated. The leaders say despite numerous calls, nothing much had been done to apprehend those behind the heinous killings, and the locals seem to have been left on their own with no protection.
Leaders are not going to be used as an excuse for the government's failure to do its constitutional duty. Because like yesterday, all the members who are standing here were attending the Jubilee Party parliamentary group when the killing in Marsabit happened. So where do the leaders come in? Also on security, currently Marsabit has one of the largest concentration of security forces, and yet nothing is happening. People killing each other 5 kilometers from the nearest police station. I think it is uncalled for. We will not accept that escapist excuse that it is leaders who are funding this.
I want to shift blame, this time from the leaders. And I want to tell the government that nothing is as sacred as life. Not land, not political power, not anything.
To matters graft now, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution has ordered for the arrest of 12 senior employees at the Kenya School of Law for alleged fraud. Director of Public Prosecution Nurdin Haji says the 12 individuals have been linked to irregular payment of more than 198 million shillings for goods and services not supplied.
Office of the Director of Public Prosecution wants 12 individuals from the Kenya School of Law to answer to various offences in connection to fraudulent payment of 198,441,030 shillings by the institution to 6 companies associated with employees of school for goods and services not supplied. Director of Public Prosecution Nurdin Haji says investigation into allegations of irregular payment of the said monies revealed that Kenya School of Law lost more than 198 million shillings to business entities registered in the names of senior employees at the school. The 6 companies, namely Ademwa Enterprises, Alfrank Investments, Deskench Investments, Farmline Company, Frigoya Investments, and Ngoya Cosmetics, are said to have been fraudulently paid as they had not been pre-qualified to supply any goods, consequently not supplying any goods or services to the school. According to the DPP, the fraud was perpetrated by the bank signatories to the school accounts, who are senior employees. The 12 suspects are Amos Kabue Mwangi, Professor Maurice Kiwinda Mbondenyi, Frank Kakson Were, Hudson Amwai Lugado, Achiro Norbert Gondi, Ephraim Thukungumi, Paul Lovi Adega, Frida Ngoya Wanda, Francis Mwaki Lugando, Alfred Murage Lugando, Dennis Sam Achiro, and Kenneth Ochieng. The suspects are expected to be arraigned in court to face various charges under the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act 2003. Kamche Menza for Channel 1 News.
Moving on, police in Kisii County have launched a manhunt for a middle-aged man captured on CCTV camera stealing money from a shop in Nyamache sub-county. Area OCPD William Kalindi, while citing the case as an isolated one, called on residents to report any sighting of the suspect in the area.
With the advent of the unforeseen COVID-19 and the subsequent effects that have kept the general population busy, another group of Kenyans are taking the advantage of the pandemic to make a quick kill, literally. A middle-aged man struck at an M-Pesa outlet cum shoe selling shop in Nyamache Township in broad daylight and stole 120,000 shillings. Retrieved CCTV footage captured the suspect dressed in a navy blue tracksuit top over a checked blue shirt and wearing a light blue trouser.
Hao wezi ni kama wanajua. So huwa wanatembelea maduka ya M-Pesa sana na wanapima jinsi ambao wanafanya biashara.
The suspect, sporting a blue mask with a clean-shaven head, appeared to be conversant with the shop as he pretended to engage in a phone conversation. After inspecting a pair of shoes from the shelves, the suspect was seen stooping into an unsecured cash box under the counter, stuffing currency notes into his pockets and walking out casually.
Kamera ilimchukua vizuri na anaonekana vizuri kabisa. Ni mtu wako na alama, hawezi kosa kujulikana. Ako na alama pande ya kushoto, amekatwa pua kuja pande hii, na amekatwa ako na alama nyingine hapa. So huyo ni mtu ataweza kujulikana kwa rahisi sana.
Ninaomba yeyote atakayemuona ataripiga ripoti popote ndani ya Nyamache ama kwa serikali yoyote iliyo karibu na yeye, kwa sababu leo ametutendea hili, labda kesho ataweza kumtendea hilo jambo.
The shop attendant, who had moved to an adjacent shop to collect a mattress when the incident occurred, saying that he learnt of the theft in the evening when he was doing reconciliation with his employer.
So nilikauka sana huko kutoa mattress. So kabla nitoke, ne mtu banda alikuwa amaliza, sasa alikuwa anatoka naye. So aliiba na akaenda. Si hatukuwa tunajua. Hiyo jambo tuligundua jioni. Wakati after kupiga hesabu tukaona kitu imepotea. 1120 ndio aliiba na akaenda nayo.
Residents are calling on the security operators to up their game and arrest the situation.
Tumetendewa wizi mara mingi, hasa kwa hii mwezi visa vimetendeka ni 4, lakini hatujaona tukifanyiwa haki yetu. Ndio maana ninaomba serikali ichukue jukumu ya hali ya juu, itutendee haki yetu kama sisi wananchi na wanabiashara hasa.
Usalama ni kazi yetu sisi wote. Kwa hivyo tushirikiane, ile kitu sana sana tunahitaji information.
You are watching Channel 1 Lunchtime News. We are taking our first short quick break, but don't go away. We have more news in regard to the COVID-19, not forgetting business and sports.
On the next episode of Corner.
Ya muhimu kwanza ni kujua hali yako ya status ya HIV.
You fool! Do you know what that means? If Chanakya is able to meet Bindusar, then our plan will fail. Death sentences will be awarded to me as well as to all of you.
All of this can be answered only by Acharya. And that's only possible if you treat him.
Love bila gloves haiwezi. Rieni kujijua.
Afya bora, maisha bora. Jipime, jiinue.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Mr. Kipto.
Now I want to write a composition using the word jogging.
Teacher, please give us spelling for the word jogging.
Sijasema jog ile au jog ile jog ya kunyongwa. Hapana. Ninasema jogging. Na sijasema jog ile nje unasema jog ya kukimbia ya marathon.
Kupata jogging. Bonyeza *811 963#.
Jogging your brain ile kukimbiza akili.
Welcome back. Thank you for watching Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Moving on, Lamu Women Representative Rueda Mohammed has appealed for relief aid from well-wishers to assist over 6,000 families affected by massive flooding that has left them displaced and homeless. The woman representative said efforts from the national government and well-wishers to get to as many needy families as possible in Lamu East Islands of Fazakiwayu and Pate have been hampered by rough seas in the area. Women Representative Rueda Mohammed is calling on well-wishers to come to the aid of thousands of families affected by floods in Lamu County. The situation has been compounded by the COVID-19 pandemic, with many poor families in Lamu East Islands of Faza, Kiwayu and Pate affected. While receiving relief food from Siri Gudwara Ramgarishia Railway Organization, Rueda noted that the area has been marginalized for a long time, with perennial flooding that has affected thousands and destroyed infrastructure. She thanked well-wishers who are currently chipping in to boost government efforts. The Nairobi-based organization donated 400 cartons of relief food, sanitizers and masks to needy families in the county, with more aid still needed to cushion the residents. Nakuru County government has formed a task force to address the rising challenges faced in Lake Naivasha. Speaking after visiting Karagita Landing Beach in Naivasha, the Chief Executive Officer in charge of Agriculture, Immaculate Maina, says illegal fishing in the lake is threatening stocks and hampering Nakuru County government's effort to boost commercial fishing. The county government of Nakuru is planning to introduce an annual fishing ban in Lake Naivasha, where illegal fishermen have taken over. Now, this comes as the Department of Agriculture in the county moved in to form a task force to address the challenges currently facing the troubled water body. Speaking after visiting Karagita Landing Beach in Naivasha, the CEC in charge of agriculture, Dr. Immaculate Maina, admitted that the lake was under high pressure from various quarters.
Our greatest challenge is the illegal fishermen, but also the legal fishermen have not respected their license to pair. Our license is 1 boat, 10 nets.
Maina noted that currently there was unsustainable utilization of the lake resources, with fears the water body would not sustain fishing in the coming months. The CEC for Trade Raymond Komen said that the recently opened Inland Container Depot ICD would change the face of the county, increase revenue and job opportunities to ease pressure from the lake.
We have petitioned the national government, ministries of industry and the ministries of transport, that the opportunities that come up that come with the investment should benefit our people in Nakuru here and in Naivasha.
Welfare associations representing persons living with disabilities are calling on the government to set up a special relief program for those living with physical challenges to cushion them from tough economic times in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Coast Association for Persons Living with Disability CEO Hamisi Maalim Zaja notes that persons living with disability have been economically affected by movement restrictions and other measures adopted to curb the spread of the coronavirus.
Persons living with disabilities within Bombolulu Informal Settlement in Nyali constituency, Mombasa County, came out in large numbers to receive food donated by Coast Association for Persons Living with Disability.
Na kama si huyu mwenzetu kutuletea hii chakula, hatungekula kutoka ile mara kwanza alituletea kabla ya Ramadhani mpaka saa hii ndio tupata hii chakula sisi walemavu wa hapa.
One of them singing a song inspired by their current predicament occasioned by the effects of the spread of the novel coronavirus. Many of the beneficiaries depend on small businesses, including hawking on the streets, which they can no longer do.
Fadhali tukumbukeni sisi walemavu. National Council for People with Disabilities. When you are doing these things, please come down to the ground. Work with the people who are down on the ground. When you take people who are in the offices, they don't know the situation at the ground.
Hamisa Maalim Zaja, the Chief Executive Officer of Coast Association for Persons Living with Disability, says that they will continue supporting the vulnerable members of the community.
Wakati unatuma labda wazee wa mitaa, wakati unatuma ward administrators, ni lazima uwe unatuma watu ambao wanaweza kufanya mawasiliano na watu wanaishi na ulemavu. Ikiwa wataenda kwenye nyumba waandike majina, wakose kuwasiliana na mtu ambaye hana uwezo wa kuzungumza, inakuwa changamoto kubwa sana. Ikiwa watu wataenda kukimbilia chakula, basi mtu ambaye hana uwezo wa kutembea kama hivi mimi hawezi kufikia chakula kama kile.
About 3,000 households within the coast region have so far received food aid from the association. Kamche Menza for Channel 1 News.
Now, the COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted the way we live, bringing with it fear and uncertainty. The obtaining solution has greatly affected those with young ones who require their children to be vaccinated. But amid the uncertainty, health experts are advising parents to ensure that their children are vaccinated, saying it is the best way to protect them from vaccine-preventable diseases.
Like to encourage all mothers to take their babies to their well baby clinic visits. Facilities have put in place measures to ensure that there is no crowding and that infection prevention control is maintained. These vaccines are very important to ensure that immunity of children is built and they are less susceptible to infections, specifically respiratory infections, in this era of COVID-19.
Business Now, Equity Group has discontinued discussions with Atlas Mara that would have seen the Kenyan lender acquire banks in Rwanda, Tanzania, Mozambique, and Zambia. Equity Board of Directors cited uncertainty of risk, which had earlier precipitated the proposed withdrawal of 9.5 billion shillings proposed dividend payout to shareholders.
In January, Equity Group Board announced the extension of discussions with Atlas Mara following the expiry of the transaction period between the two parties could reach a detailed transaction agreement. During the extended period, the two parties continued with the discussions to try and reach mutually acceptable commercial terms with respect to the proposed transaction. In a statement, Equity Group CEO James Mwangi said the board has considered the events that have taken place since January when the two parties agreed to extend transaction discussions, and particularly the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic to the world and the economies in which the group operates. After careful consideration, Equity Group Holdings and Atlas Mara have mutually agreed to discontinue discussions on the transaction for the foreseeable future. Mwangi says the lender remains keen on expanding its footprint in Africa to provide access to competitive, tailored financial services to improve lives and livelihoods, while also delivering significant value to its stakeholders. He says Equity Group has deployed a defensive and offensive mechanism through loan restructuring and rescheduling of up to 25% of the total loan book for up to 36 months. This is geared to enable customers to go through the prevailing turbulence, as well as preserving cash to shore up the financial revival and growth of their businesses post the COVID-19 crisis. He noted the board's business continuity management is focused on conserving cash and liquidity and deploying it to support our customers to survive during this economic crisis and to recover and thrive post the crisis. Betty Kiptum, Channel 1 Business.
Across borders, creditors of South Africa's retailer Edcon have approved a proposed rescue plan that will see the company sold after it entered bankruptcy protection in April. The administrators have already served retrenchment notices to 22,000 workers of Edcon. Here are the details of this and more in our African Business Roundup.
The approval to sell South Africa's retailer Edcon was done in a virtual creditors meeting that saw more than 75% in agreement. This paves the way for the administrators to finalize Edcon's sale process by end month to allow time for supplier negotiations and for summer stock to be purchased. About 15 parties have shown interest in the sale, with the selection of the offer expected in early July. Edcon, which owes creditors about 8.1 billion rand, entered business rescue after sales were hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, Ivory Coast's cotton industry will struggle to cover its costs after exporting just 20% of last season's 210,902 tons of fiber because of COVID-19 disruptions in top buying destinations in Asia. In a normal year, the West African nation would have exported almost all of its fibers by now. Instead, the crisis has caused delays and the cancellation of some contracts with buyers. In Pakistan, India and Bangladesh. Global cotton prices have fallen by more than 11% this year after efforts to slow the spread of the novel coronavirus forced clothing shops to close, dented demand, and accelerated a decline triggered by the US-China trade war. Finally, the Tanzanian government plans to spend $426 million in constructing 384 new irrigation systems over the next 5 years. The irrigation projects would be spread in 8 regions, namely Dodoma, Kilimanjaro, Mbeya, Morogoro, Mtwara, Mwanza, Tabora, and Katavi. Tanzania's National Irrigation Commission says the irrigation projects are intended to alleviate the difficulties of the Tanzanian agricultural sector, which accounts for a third of the country's GDP. The investment will have a direct impact on the improvement of food security across the country. The funds needed to implement the new irrigation projects would be mobilized under the second phase of Tanzania's Agricultural Sector Development Program, which is scheduled to be completed by 2023. Betty Kiptum, Channel 1 Business.
This is an interesting one. The first robot restaurant complex in South China's Guangdong province opened today with more than 20 catering robots able to produce nearly 200 kinds of dishes to customers. The restaurant, which serves Chinese food, hot pot, and fast food, can serve nearly 600 people at the same time. Details of this interesting story and others in our international business wrap.
The whole process from ordering food, making dishes to serving dishes are all done by robots. The robot can make a dish as fast as in 20 seconds, as dishes made by different chefs with different skills usually vary in terms of taste and quality. The restaurant has incorporated skillful chefs and input the data including cooking process, raw materials, temperature control, and others to the robot system. After thousands of times of experiments, the robots are able to produce dishes with uniform procedures and flavors. This year, the operator of the restaurant will continue to cooperate with scenic spots and universities to expand its coverage. Elsewhere, up to 1.4 million Renault and Nissan vehicles sold in Britain could be equipped with illegal defeat devices, according to a lawsuit filed Tuesday. They include a petrol-powered version of one of the UK's best-selling family cars, the Nissan Qashqai. The law firm behind the case, Hacker claims that some cars produced up to 15 times the legal level of nitrogen oxides when used on the road. Hacker says it has seen independent test data which suggests that 1.3 million diesel cars built by Nissan and its French partner Renault may have been fitted with defeat devices. These are systems which turn emissions controls on when the vehicle is being tested but switches them off when it is being used on the road in order to improve their performance, reliability, or both. Finally, Lufthansa says it had not yet reached an agreement with unions on a package to cut staff costs back Finally, Lufthansa said it had not yet reached an agreement with unions on a package to cut staff costs, but will continue talks with 2 unions to try and seal a deal before an extraordinary shareholders meeting on Thursday. The government is trying to broker a €9 billion bailout for Germany's flagship carrier, which has been hit hard by coronavirus-induced travel slump. Lufthansa said talks with pilot union VC and cabin crew union UF4 will be continued ahead of Thursday. Services union Verdi had on Monday said that further talks had been scheduled for Friday, and Lufthansa said this showed that Verdi was not prepared to come to an agreement before the extraordinary shareholders meeting.
To play now, and the Belgium embassy has partnered with Harambee Stars midfielder Johanna Omolo by donating foodstuff to 300 families living in Dandora Estate, Nairobi. Through the Johanna Omolo Foundation, the embassy gave out the food relief including maize flour, cooking oil, rice and sugar, with the Belgium ambassador to Kenya, Nicholas Nihon, saying they will seek to expand the exercise to cushion more families affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The foundation, run by the Belgium-based Stars midfielder, has been carrying out a series of donations exercise since the outbreak of coronavirus pandemic in the country in March. Johanna Omolo turns out for Cercle Brugge FC that competes in Belgium's top-tier league.
Very happy to give a push to the foundation of John Omolo, who now we're sharing. It's like a heritage between Kenya and Belgium, and we're very proud of him and his achievements in football, and also very proud of what he's doing here in Dandora. So here we're giving for 300 families. It's a package, a food package, where we put like basic stuff like maize, flour, sugar, some soap, some oil, and that's what we've been doing in other neighborhoods of Nairobi. So it's something that will help for a few weeks.
Cristiano Ronaldo scored as Juventus resumed their Italian Serie A title defense with a 2-0 victory at mid-table Bologna. Juve, who have won the past 8 titles, are 4 points clear of Lazio, who visit Atalanta tomorrow. Ronaldo gave Juve the lead with a penalty after Mathis de Ligt was fouled by Stefano Denswil. Paulo Dybala curled an excellent second from Federico Bernardeschi's back heel, but Juve ended with 10 men following Danilo's red card. In other results, AC Milan thrashed Lecce by 4-1, while Fiorentina was held to a 1-1 draw by Brescia. And Riyad Mahrez both scored twice as Manchester City thrashed Burnley 5-0 to ensure Liverpool will have to wait a little longer to wrap up their English Premier League title. 3 first-half goals saw City on their way to the most comfortable of wins at Etihad Stadium, with Foden's superb long-range strike breaking the deadlock before Mahrez doubled just before the break. The Algerian's fine solo effort made it 2-0 before he added another from the spot after Ben Mee fouled Sergio Aguero, with the penalty being awarded by the video assistant referee. Foden played a starring role in the rout, starting the move that saw Bernardo Silva tee up David Silva to make it 4-0 soon after the break, and then adding a fifth himself after Gabriel Jesus helped on a David Silva cross. That's all we had lined up for you for KBC Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Ben Tronjoe. Lucy Mwaura has been our sign language interpreter for this afternoon. Remember, this afternoon we are also following up on the impeachment Senate special sitting at the County Hall. Ed Kabasa will be coming with the report. Thank you indeed so much for watching.
Vera Beauty College. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika, and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET-approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design and soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725 923 550 Nairobi branch, 0728 087 689 Eldoret branch, 0722 22 7428 Thika branch, 0725 000 706 Meru branch. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a TVET approved institution.
Embakasi Utawala tuko locked. Ungem Utanyahururu Kasuku Massive.
Jeshi ya Nyeri, Coast Maua na Nakuru wako locked mbaya.
Kigumo Ward na ambao wote wako ndani ya KBC Channel 1.
Akulaliki Wednesday bila the ref.
Mbotela Auta Idara Kitengela.
Kiambu County 33 Pipeline Meru anawakilisha.
Rongai Maboksa pale go down. Karatina Auta Mlolongo wana enjoy show. Lare Sub County Auta Githurai 45. Lanet Barracks tuko ndani yake. Okongo Auta Carnation Maragwa Seti Nairobi.
Thika wako locked mbaya sana.
Watu wangu wa Nakuru Ngwaro.
Auta Gilgil live kutoka Mazeras Bahati Massive.
Embo Thika Massive.
Siaya Shikambi Kakamega Bungoma County.
Kusia Boda Kisumu City. Malindi yote iko ndani ya the ref.
When I'm in Kenya, I tune in to the rave. Get your mind brave, focus, conscious.
Kenya,
East Africa.
Right.
Keep it locked.
Calling out to Africa.
Now I'm confident about this, that they have locked up Acharya Chanakya here.
You and your friends are done fooling me. Not anymore. I will take you to Her Highness immediately.
Greetings, Emperor.
I see a grave danger approaching us. Along with Acharya Chanakya, there is a conspiracy to murder the entire royal family.
I have found Acharya.
A fantastic show lined up for you tonight. I mean, you cannot afford to miss any part of the show today.
I'm telling you, absolutely, Shere. Manzeloni, Shere, man. You know, you make your Monday blazing hot as usual, you know? Anytime you see these beautiful, chewable faces on your screens, oh, man.
I am not chewable.
You already know.
But anyway, this is Grapevine, and there's something that I feel we must address. If the figures are correct, that 4,000 ladies, mostly underage girls,
Teenager.
are pregnant in Machakos County from the month of, is it March? Yes, March. As in, we are in a crisis.
Man, this is a serious issue right now, yeah? Because first of all, man, yeah, we need future peeps, man. We need Miss V. We need Sabina Chege of tomorrow. We need people like, you know, like figure mothers like my mom, like your mom. But at the end of the day, this is an issue that we blame the society. Because for me as a guy, yeah, first thing, man, if we vibe like this with a Chile, yeah? Because nowadays, during our age, are you a millennial?
I am a millennial. We are both millennials.
Oh man, I'm not a millennial.
Okay.
During our age, you will find a lady of 15 years old, yeah? You know, with big pum pum like this, and they were proud to talk about, I'm 15 years of age, you see? But nowadays, yeah, she's 15 and she will tell you she's 18. And the best thing I normally do, show me your ID. Yeah, and if you cannot show me your ID, then I bounce. And if you feel my vibes at the party, daddy, yeah, come back with your ID.
So you feel like that's what men should do?
Yeah, men should not avoid, because nowadays, these girls are out there. And also, they exaggerate their age. You know, they mature so fast and they exaggerate their age. But at the end of the day, the society also...
But then again, shame on you men who are prying on young girls. It doesn't matter if she looks young, older. It does not matter. Just
absolutely.
Shame on you. And for the ladies, please, girls, just keep yourselves. Keep yourselves. As a Nikki too, you will do it. You will do it later on in life. In fact, itakuwa much better for you because of GPT and all that. Anyway, enough of that. You know what this right here is?
Grapevine, baby.
What you gotta do? During this period where we are battling COVID-19, everyone has been playing a part, you know? And we've had artists who haven't been left behind. For sababu, they are really making a point of keeping all of us entertained during this time.
Sherehe, imekuwa sherehe kweli, man. And this episode is full of sherehe kama kawaida. You know, these guys have been doing live performances. Watu! Mnajua ni aje?
And Juakali rocked up that stage, you know, alikuwa hapo akatukumbusha TBT, you know.
Mini baba yao, mini kachini, mini, hey man.